have you ever come across something in the earth?
We hit a layer of solid stone, and when excavated, it was a huge underground chamber with writings on the walls. And the fog quickly boils off and evaporates. And you find yourself surrounded by, I don't know, 8 people, 10 people or so, and one person that you all recognize right here.
Oh, shit.
It's Cassia, and we should roll initiative immediately.
I shake my head and I say, it's a summon by... It must be Krellis. He must know about us and is trying to stop us. That's the only thing we know that can summon creatures.
Krogar, do you recognize any of these people?
Well, one of the folks that showed up. I swear to God, I know them. I've worked with them.
It's one thing if they just summoned the people from nearby. It's another that they brought Cassia. Surely that was an illusion.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Floating Fortress. Where last we left the party, you were going to camp. You had a prisoner, a person whose name you didn't know, that you had knocked out and tied up, and you're on your way to Kapan. And I do believe we're going to come in the morning where you have rested. Let's bring us to the world map.
I'm coming in the morning.
Let's take a look at the world map. Is our prisoner still here in the morning?
Your prisoner is still here in the morning.
That's crazy. Weird.
That is weird.
And they seem as violent and agitated as ever. But
really?
Thankfully, they're restrained and tied up.
Are they like completely bloodthirsty? Are we talking like zombie-style bloodlust?
Not like chained-up zombie who is always restraining against its bonds and trying to rip your face off at all points in time. But there's definitely a look in the eye, the occasional like squeeze. It's much more human, but it's still very aggressive. Like, I don't want to be tied up. I do want to free myself and probably cause harm.
I think Riven's instinct is to get up early and make them some tea. But on seeing them still being kind of like wide-eyed and clearly violent, I think I'll refrain from that and sort of quickly make myself some tea and then go back to my side of the camp away from them.
Okay.
Question sort of out of character. Have we cast Detect Magic on this character?
I don't
think we
recall.
I don't remember. So you might as well.
Okay, so like we questioned them and they didn't give us really very much information. Were they able to actually answer questions? I don't remember.
They were tied up. They're non-communicative. Cedric used his clerical version of Detect Magic. And found strong magic on that person.
Are we able to like remove? Because I took their money, didn't I? I took things out of their pockets to see if they would disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. Is there something like mechanical that we could do for our characters to learn more information? We've done a Detect Magic. No, I can't.
I wonder
think
what would
of
happen if we knocked them out. Or took them to 0 if they disappear, or if they...
Wait, I haven't looked at my spell list in a while. Hold on.
Back up.
Well, it's just Earth spell number 1 through 3, Water spell.
Fuck! Why did I do this? God damn it!
Don't the clerics have a way of putting people to sleep, Martha?
Yeah, but it's voluntary.
Well, you can sleeping touch someone. I think eventually they get a saving throw, no?
Yeah, maybe try putting them to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do that, I guess.
Okay.
It's a willing creature to sleep. An unwilling creature may make a saving throw at +4 to avoid the effects.
Still probably going to
Do you have it, Potato?
I have it, yeah, I have it.
Okay, you can do it.
I attempt to sleeping touch him.
Excellent. They fall asleep.
Okay. Okay, so Riven makes
we
tea.
should check them for like marks or something? I don't know. I mean, probably not, right? But
we already snipped his toes. I think we're good.
I think our plan was to take him all the way to Kapan and see who knows him. Maybe you could even do your suggest friendship thing you had again?
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work.
Well,
right.
Dwarf, you got any ideas?
Sorry.
You tried it, but I think you failed, but we don't know either way.
Were you asking the dwarf if he has any ideas?
Yeah.
My lord, I haven't the foggiest idea what to do. This is a situation unlike anything I've seen before.
All right. On it is, I guess.
I think we're all out of our depth here.
When-
I think you're right, Cedric. We should just move on.
I pick the guy up. I put him over my shoulder.
The dwarf stands uncomfortable. I'm more than happy to try and get you acquainted with the owner of the basement. I don't know if I'm comfortable bringing in a disappearing killer into the city, though. That's just not good citizenship.
I think that we believe he's from Kapan.
Why?
I look at his garb. Doesn't it look like he... I thought there was a reason that we thought he was from Kapan. I thought he, like, noticed one of them or, like, knew one of them.
There was someone that the dude... Wasn't there someone that the dude recognized? It's been months.
There was.
Yeah.
But I think he recognized them from Zabai. Not Kapan, right?
I don't remember.
And it's not this one that you've captured.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
There is something here. I don't know what this would tell us, but protection from evil is a spell I can cast, and that should protect an individual from summoned creatures. Might be a way to prove that this guy
He's
has
obviously
been
a summoned creature, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Well, do we want to go back to Zabai or do we want to keep going to Kapan? I mean, we're not letting this guy go.
Well, the other one's all vanished. Maybe this one's a ghost like the others, an illusion, like you said.
Then why didn't he
Feels pretty
vanish with
real
the
to me.
others?
So you didn't
Could
kill
a
him.
solution?
You knocked
Could
him
a
out.
solution be to keep him outside of the city while we're inside? We could put him in the custody of some guards. I'm sure you guys have guardhouses.
If this really is, like, the real person from Zabai, and if they really would die if we kill them, that's got some troubling implications. One, it means we just killed the... I just killed the Armator. And secondly, this chap here, he's already dead. I mean, short of finding a wizard to dispel whatever magic that is, I don't see how we could save him.
Somehow I don't believe that.
Isn't there a wizard in
I
Kapan?
can't believe that we killed
There's
the
a
Armator.
tower.
If you really think we killed the Armator, we should go back right now.
I don't think the Armator is dead. I say we bring this guy into Kapan and see if we can talk to the wizard if there is one there.
What, is there
Bare
a wizard
minimum.
in Kapan?
There's a
I mean,
tower.
there's a tower on this map here. I open
What
the
about you,
map and show
Krogor?
you.
Do you know, is there a wizard in Kapan?
There are some spellcasters, yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe we do that then. But like,
There was also
Zephyr,
the old
maybe-
ruins that we
you know,
need to
maybe
visit.
you're right. Well, the ruins are in Kapan, right? That's where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zephyr, I hope you're right in that the Armator isn't dead, in which case we'd be better off just destroying this illusion now. But maybe it's better to, if we can handle him, let's take him to a spellcaster in Kapan and see what we can find out.
It's worth at least seeing if there's a wizard in the town.
Yeah, I mean, the
Right.
worst case scenario is we can kill this guy anytime. I mean,
I just had a thought though, right? Like, worst case scenario that these people have been summoned from nearby. Likely is that one of the ones we killed was from Kapan. So if that's true, when we get there, we're probably going to see people like mourning the random death of people who just disappeared and then turned back up dead.
but then we have this guy as like a true, hey, they summoned and attacked us.
Yeah. So actually, that's a good point. Like, let's leave him alive just so that we can use him as evidence that we didn't do this.
Yeah, Neil, I'm gonna try this.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do this martyr spell on him?
Ooh.
Touching a wound on another creature, the cleric takes the wound on himself. The creature's wound is healed, and the cleric's body opens up at the same place.
Are you
The
fifth
caster
level?
absorbs another wound. I'm whatever level that this is in my spell sheet.
Because it's a level 1 spell.
3. Martyr. Oh, I think I'm mixing this up with a different spell. Hold on, give me just one. Right. Okay. No. Totally. Yes, you can martyr. Absolutely.
And how much can I do? I don't want to do too much.
You can do as much
get
as you
to
want,
choose?
but whatever it is, you increase the damage by 25% and round up. So break points are
Okay.
4, 8, 12. for optimal efficiency, but you can do any amount that you want.
I will take 1 point of this guy's damage.
So you take 2
means
points
2.
of damage, and this
And I heal 1
person's
from him.
wounds heal over by 1. Yeah,
And it works.
it works.
Okay. Seems real. Seems real to me.
And it's worth noting that damage caused by Martyr can only be healed by mundane means, not cure light wounds, no healing potions. You gotta rest normally.
Oh yeah. Here is a heal for Elijah.
Okay, nice.
It's not quite the right numbers to roll.
There you go.
DF8.
And then that's a heal for me, which only will heal 1.
Right.
How much am I healing for?
6.
You heal for 6.
Holy shit. Oh, that's a lot better, guys. Man,
Keep
what
it
a
going.
fight, huh?
Yeah.
I really got in there. I got to take more care of myself. Sometimes I just feel myself too heroically, you know, and I know how much I can do for the group, so...
I mean, you're
I'm
a
just-
hero.
I just feel like I think my main weaknesses are that I work too hard and that I care too much, you know?
Yeah.
I agree. Work way too hard.
Maybe like
Right.
too courageous as well, Elijah.
Right, yeah,
You're always
sometimes.
the first in there, you know?
That's right, yeah, sometimes. Maybe I need to be a little bit more strategic about things. You know, like our friend Cedric over here is always, you know, in the back waiting for others to get in, being a little bit, you know, more cautious and all that. And, you know, as a result, he's never going to go down in a fight. Right, Cedric?
I don't think that's true. I'm always up there.
Oh, that's
You
your
might be getting me
point of view.
confused with Riven.
Yeah, I mean, Riven also is more the, you know, cautious type. Zephyr, just like some of the things to think about Zephyr when, you know, considering
I
and all that.
I don't know what to tell you, Elijah. I mean, you've gone down quite a lot. I feel like I've been, you know, like 6 months ago, some of the blows that I've taken, I feel like would have taken my head clean off. But these days,
Right.
someone stabs me through the stomach or, you know, hacks at my arm, barely leaves a scratch. I mean, I feel fine. I've not even felt close to being in trouble this whole time.
All right.
Well, we march on Kapan. We'll be there in no time flat. The little trail winds along the gentle river. Soon, trees appear before you, rising from the ground. A nice little wooded area with shade to walk under. A large lake with clear waters coming right out of the mountains. And a cozy little town on the eastern bank, dwarfed by the mountains that rest beyond it and surround it. Kapan is well, compared to Aknara, it's a huge place, but compared to anywhere else in the world, it's, you know, a small little zone. Population of this town is, you know, a few thousand, 8,000 maybe. But it's clear that this little place is definitely a source of wealth. The stone architecture is abundant. There's some things made of wood, obviously. But, you know, there's nice, long-lasting, excellent stone architecture. This little tall tower that sort of looks out over everything around it. People are wearing, you know, these sorts of imported clothes that don't grow in around here. There's fine linens, there's high thread count cottons, brightly colored, nice metal work for jewelry, for like wristbands or necklaces, earrings. Even some people will have like, not quite tiaras, but like little circlets around their head that have like intricately woven different colors of metal that pass between them. This must be some sort of like localized cultural things that you can't quite, you're not super familiar with, but you can see that this is a place of resources and economic prosperity. You've finally come to the big city, except it's a tiny, tiny city.
Can I?
What's the guard situation like at the wall? Is there a wall? Is there not?
There
a
is
wall?
no wall around Kapan. It is completely unwalled. On the trail leading into Kapan, which you can see all this from fairly far off, you do spot what looks to be like a little outpost. There's a short, squat building with like two different heighted windows next to it, one for like dwarves and halflings to come up to, and one for like humans to come up to. And there's a human in the tall building and a dwarf in the short building.
As we see the outpost, I sort of call the group around and I say, you know, if some of the people that we fought are dead, and some of them are from Kapan, we should just ask at the outpost. They'll definitely know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree. We should bring this guy on my shoulder. Is he still asleep, Koibu?
No. I think when you start walking, they'll wake up and they'll struggle, but I imagine you've got armor on and you've got 18 strength, so
yeah.
I'm just ignoring their struggles and assuming they all fail.
We should bring this guy over.
Yeah,
show them.
We need to explain. Yeah, we might even be able to get ourselves a meeting with any wizard or something using our story.
So Zephyr, say it. You have such a way with words, Zephyr.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm extremely well versed in speech. Love you. Yeah. As we walk past the lake, I'd like to take a moment to kind of reach down and just like run my hand through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, and sort of just talking to myself, I'll say, before this all went crazy, I would have really enjoyed this view. Just kind of noticing that, like, the beauty of this little mountain valley that we're in, everything is like, it's kind of lost in the shadow of what we are here to do. And like the quest that we are pushed towards. Zephyr's getting a little emotional.
Is that a moment to yourself, or do you sort of voice that?
Well, I would imagine I would be over by the water, and I would have my hand in and I'm just kind of trailing it. And if anyone walked over to me, I would say it to them.
I think that, ironically, Riven is enjoying the view separately at the same time that you're having that thought, but not next to you, but also just sort of nearby, watching it, enjoying it. I'm not so jaded.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're stopping to feel the water, you're probably stopping to fill up your water skins as well. And if you stop, the party might take a moment and just replenish water by the clean, clear lake.
Yeah. Is it warmer here than it is on the islands? Are we still pretty close to the sea that we get a lot of wind and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you're like 20 miles inland, so you're going to get less.
We're also
actually, I think right now
protected from the wind because of the mountains, right?
That kind of depends, though, right? Because sometimes the air going over the mountain can kind of come down with more force, depending.
Yeah, maybe.
We're in the middle of winter, so the
really.
further inland away from water you go, the colder it gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like Riven, as a sort of slim build person and an elf, gets cold easily. That's a thing that, when girls always get cold.
True. They're
gets
freezing.
Cold. Yeah. But ever since we've been blessed, I'm not feeling the cold anymore. I'm like sort of 10-year-old stocky kid not bringing his coat to the playground. Fucking warm as fuck. I'm good.
I'm freezing. I'm low dex, low con, low strength. I'm cold.
Yeah.
And I'm like 110 pounds. Yeah. You could throw me, probably, Cedric.
Absolutely. We're saving that special move for a further later fight.
Cedric's defenestration.
It's a combo. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if we're all done water skinning and touching the water and taking in the view, then we make our way towards the guard tower?
Yeah, it's like a little outpost just on the side of the road. There's no real wall. It's just like a little building with some cute little tile roofs and some little windows and some quaint people hanging out there.
Yeah, I'll make my way up with the party in tow.
They see the 5 of you approaching with one person over the shoulder. And the person in the tall window, the human-sized window, will, clearly see you approaching. And you're wearing your armor, and you've got your shield, and the party's, traveling armed. And the person says, "Welcome to Kapan, strangers. Are you bringing us some trouble?"
Stranger? Well, in a sense, but hopefully it won't be too much trouble. More so, this person caused some trouble for us. Do you?
Are they the killer?
Is there someone who's in charge? A killer?
The killer.
The killer? Who?
The killer of whom?
There's a rash of murders last night.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
Oh, no.
Who's in charge of the city? I think we know what happened. Who's in charge?
Cassia.
Well,
What have I done?
Kapan is a. Give me just a moment here. Kapan. Kapan is. It's not like the Empire or those other places. There's not a monolithic person. The various clans of Kapan have come together in a federated state to make decisions together.
Okay.
Zephyr, you have to say something.
Could you?
Is this the killer?
It's gonna.
Well, why are they
It's
over
gonna
your
sound
shoulder?
crazy. I don't think they're the killer. It's gonna be difficult to explain. I think magic is involved.
I'll get the guy off my shoulder and I'll show them your face.
Yeah, the person
Basically-
tries to gnaw and gnash at you.
Would you be able to find someone who knows this person? Basically, what's happened is I am the overseer of Aknara. Have you heard of Aknara?
Yeah, you're one of the island peoples.
That's right. I'm the military leader, but not really a military, more like a guard.
You're
I'm
the
the leader
chieftain
of the guards.
of your little tribe.
Absolutely. I'm the chieftain of the warrior parts of our tribe. These are my wardens. They
Hand of the chieftain here.
That's the hand of the chieftain.
Nice to meet you.
We are protectors, and we're here seeking wizards and knowledge and all sorts of things. Yesterday, we were attacked by what we believe were magically summoned people, illusions. We thought they were illusions because when they attacked us and we defended ourselves, when we defeated them, they would disappear and explode into smoke or
That certainly
something.
sounds like magic to me.
And it's not the first time that this has happened to us. I believe we're being targeted by a wizard, perhaps the wizard of the Empire up in Justars Bay. It's a whole lot of backstory.
I
But,
see.
but I think... Do you know any of these chieftains? I think it would be good if we had a meeting with some of them because...
I think this guy's from here.
Are you from Justars Bay?
No, he means.
No,
Oh, sorry.
This guy is.
I'm
from
pointing to the
Kapan.
guy who we have tied up, yeah.
We believe that this person may have been enchanted and magically teleported from your city to try and kill us. And when we defended ourselves, it may have killed the people who were summoned.
You just sound like a crazy wacko.
I know this sounds crazy.
The dwarf who's manning the slightly lower window has poked his head out during this conversation and has been listening. And he and the human lean inside and have a quick little chat in Dwarven amongst themselves.
Anybody speak Dwarven?
I grab Zephyr and say, "This means Kasey is dead."
We don't know
I
that.
I don't think she died. I think she just...
I know. I cast
Never-
my spell at her.
Oh.
I don't remember.
We don't know if they're dead.
The dwarf will come out of the building and walk around towards you and say, this is a tough thing. Magic, summoning. We're not unfamiliar in the last year or so with things that have come out of the mountains and vanished when confronted.
The last year?
Or so. 6 months, 9 months,
How long
I
has it
wasn't
been
really
now
paying
since the
attention.
Godfall?
3 weeks, 3 months.
Yeah.
This,
We've had the
this-
same experiences. I'll turn to Riven. I'll say we've had goblins appear on our island and banished them with the sword.
Yeah, but not over the last year. More like the
When you
last
say
3
last
months.
year, has this been happening over a year ago?
Well, I first heard rumors, stories of things that vanished when you hit them. Credible stories, maybe 6 months ago or so, this last summer. It's December now, it's almost winter now, so about 6 months. I assume if I heard about it 6 months ago, it's been going on longer than that. But they're few and far between, and never people. Always beasts or things. Earth elementals, for example.
owl bears?
No, none of those yet.
We had one of those. It was harrowing.
Well, I'm not sure what I can do to help you. We here in Kapan, we're a proper federation. We don't have a single authority source. We don't need
sir,
a
I
single
think
authority
you're-
source. We just
You're
work
not
together
understanding what we're
cooperatively.
saying here. Those people that died in your town last night, we killed them. They're the people that attacked us. They were teleported from the town. They appeared on the
we
road.
don't-
They attacked us. We killed them. And then
We don't know that. We
reappeared
don't
back
know
in
if they're the
town.
same people.
Well, a spate of murders
How-
last night.
How many
What were the
people were murdered last
circumstances?
night?
I don't know. I've heard about 5 at least, but there could be more.
Out of character. How many dwarves did we kill?
Like
Well,
10 or something.
Yeah, but it's like half and half, right? Half from Zabai, half from Kapan. Because we were in the middle of the road. So it makes sense.
Well,
can we
what
go
if you're
into the
right?
city?
What if this is a summoned person? The
Well,
dwarf
it
goes
is,
up and
and-
like, goes to touch them, and they seem pretty aggressive, and the dwarf backs off a little bit. Is there a cure? I think you should take them to the temple. Maybe the clerics
Is there-
there
We
can
have-
find a cure.
Is there a
Makes
wizard?
sense.
He shakes his head. Clerics, though. Good, strong clerics.
Then
All right.
we'll take
Yeah,
it to the
and-
clerics.
And would it be possible? How would we get a message sent to the local council members or whoever's of high rank? We're friends. We want to come here. We want to share information. Like, I believe we've learned something about the nature of these magical abductions and murders.
Well, you'll have
we
to
wanna
go to
share that
the
information.
different clans and beg an audience with each clan
Jesus.
and talk to them individually.
We'll do
Maybe
what we
the
can.
maybe the clerics can help us. Surely they've
Yeah.
got standing in the town.
A clerics of what, if I may ask?
A couple clerics of Astaire, one generalist cleric.
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
Stairs
We'll
the
try
good
to
one.
we'll try to keep him out of trouble.
You keep a tight leash on that one.
Mm-hmm.
As we leave, I say, if that's true that they've been getting summoned creatures here in the last 6 months, maybe Krellis came to this area to perfect his summoning spells because of the ley lines in the area, and he had little success in the first 3 months, because the ley lines weren't active, perhaps there wasn't as much magic as he expected, but his spells have kicked into gear since the Godfall because the ley lines have become more active.
Ley lines don't exist.
I think
They
that's
do. They do.
I think that's
There's-
a good theory.
Yeah. Because
You don't believe in ley lines, Cedric?
I've never seen a ley line.
I can show you when we go back to Aknara. I didn't bring you because you all mocked me last time, but those flowers, they're growing along the
Along the
ley
ley
lines
line?
now. Yeah.
But
Well-
didn't the wizard, the whatever her name was, the evil wizard, she told us of these ley lines. Like, if
Yeah.
powerful wizards are searching for these things, surely you would, like, these people wouldn't waste their time on.
Drug. I believe what I believe.
It's a working theory.
I'm doing
anyways,
my
I
own
thought.
research.
Yeah. It's a working theory for now.
I think it's
I
an
think-
interesting
I think
theory.
Elijah wouldn't know this. What are ley lines?
Well,
Yes, Cedric.
I think it's what the wizards say they get their magic from.
Right. Looks at Riven.
It's like, sort of secret magical lines funneling through the core of the earth that, empower magic.
Core of the earth?
It's like an elf thing, My mum used to talk about it. She said that, the elves were in touch with the ley lines in this area here. Knara and Barodia
Right.
is overrunning with them. And that's what Selma Tailwind said as well, that Krellis came here, because of the inherent magic in the ley lines.
It must be related to that then.
Yeah, because if they're saying that these summons happened from before the Godfall, then there's more to it than just that, right?
Right.
Mm.
Okay, well, let's go and see these clerics.
That means
We go to the temple.
Mm-hmm. There is a main temple in the middle of Kapan. Now, you have this dwarf in tow who's, is here to help introduce you to some folks. He's coming around with you, but you can know that, like, he's not bought into the party's mission. He's doing this because this was an exchange of payment. And he's coming with you to the temple, but you can kind of see that he's, like, a little impatient. Like, he wants to finish his task with you and move on, like, go about the rest of his life. So he's here with you now. He's not complaining because, like, people are dying. This seems like an important thing. But you can note his willingness to hurry up. You get to the temple. And it's a nice stone temple. It's squat. It's not one of these like tall, rising cathedrals. It's actually like a much wider than it is tall. It kind of creates the sensation of being like squished almost. The ceiling, instead of going up 20 or 30 feet like a grand cathedral you might have in a human city, you humans can basically like touch the ceiling. If you were to jump, you could easily tap the ceiling. So it's got these like really low ceilings. The doors go pretty much all the way up. There's just like a little tiny header above them. The walls that face the outside have lots of windows carved into them through the stone from place to place. Kapan. Yeah. And the windows have like these thick panes of stained glass that sit inside of them. Hugely expensive in the area. There's only like two places there's three places in all of Ferodia that make glass. Actually two, Terrador and Justar's Bay. Yeah.
What do they depict? What's like the
they depict some like pretty right near the front are like images of Kapan, like the town, the mountain range, the river, little segments of the town. But as you sort of like make your way through, or as you're gazing at the windows throughout your time in this temple, you'll also see some very classic depictions of the gods. Like there's an entire section where it's just the constellation of each deity that's depicted in a window. And then in another area, you'll see some like very old myths about like the creation of the world and the gods coming together and like the first peoples and the ogre wars and like all of these old historic things that are just like classic stories that you all would have been raised upon.
Anything to do with Ferris?
What non-weapon proficiencies do you have?
History, ancient, literacy, swimming, folklore, religion, artistic ability, poetry.
Okay, so
blacksmithing.
Artistic ability, religion, folklore, ancient history. These are all great skills for maybe picking out some bits and pieces here. What is your... Okay, so let's do... Yes. There is a window you will see somewhere while you're in here, probably, that depicts a man in red robes standing atop a tower. And like the tower is cut off at a certain point. Like the tower starts at the bottom of the stained glass and then goes up, and he's standing atop it. And his arms are outstretched. And it's unfortunate that you're asking this now before you're talking to anyone, because I think you're going to actually see this while you're mid-conversation. But while you're looking at this image, you will see this symbol also resides on that stained glass image on the temple.
Very good. Okay.
Not on the temple, on the tower.
I'll probably ask about that symbol then at some point.
Okay.
You recognize this symbol, right? It's also on the grave image.
It's on the teleportation ones, right?
Yep.
Or like the doors.
I think it's actually above the door, I believe.
Yes.
It's the key. It's the capstone.
Yes.
Keystone.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, you come into the temple. It's this low thing, long, weird. It gives you this squished feeling. And there's multiple rooms, multiple chambers, no real doors on the inside that you can see, just sort of like open walkways into other open walkways into other open chambers. It's not like any of the temples that you have been to before. It appears that there's lots of like private little mini temples or private little mini shrines sort of scattered around. And then there's like one large communal area that has a more traditional like rows of pews, but instead of all facing a front, they're sort of like in a circle. So someone could stand in the middle and like, you'd have to change your facing and you could address each different person. And in this section in the middle, within the concentric rings of pews, where there are a couple of people sort of just sitting in quiet by themselves, you can see that the ceiling above that is domed with stained glass, and there is an image being projected by the stained glass and the sunlight that rests on the floor in a multi-hued depiction of the prime 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gods, the prime 8. Martha, goddess of healing; Astaire, goddess of society, law, order; Malchus, god of chaos; Verasi, goddess of death; Nadinus, goddess of nature; Tempos, god of time; Illumis, the sun god; Reluna, the moon god.
Can't forget Illumis.
Can't forget Illumis.
This is like the nicest temple
Never.
we've ever been in, right?
Yep.
I think probably Elijah has been in fancier places, but for everyone else, this is far and away the nicest building you've ever been in.
Okay.
You know, Elijah's like, oh, pretty good.
At some
pretty
point,
good temple for an outpost. You know.
What do you mean?
Not
This is the best
bad.
temple I've ever seen.
I mean, it's not bad, but we gotta go to Justar's base sometime, my friend. They got temples there you wouldn't believe.
At some point, I will break off and go do a prayer to Martha in the Martha section. But we can do that later.
I think the gravitas of the temple is kind of lost on Zephyr because, like, initially I'm trying not to believe that we killed the Armator, but the sort of doubt is starting to creep into my mind. I think right now I'm just trying to focus on the task at hand to keep that thought from taking root. And it's like, you're going to go home and she's going to be there and it's going to be fine. So I go up to do I see a cleric?
You do. Yes, and he is watching you guys. The 5, 6, 7 of you have come in. 6 of you have come in here. And the cleric is, I mean, obviously you're armed and armored people with a prisoner coming into a temple. So patiently, quietly, he stands at a distance and watches as you come in, and you make eye contact with him, Zephyr.
I sort of cautiously make my way towards them and see if their body language is open to conversation.
Absolutely. As you approach, they turn to face you, but they don't walk any closer. They let you arrive.
I approach and I say, do people call priests or clerics father in this world?
Yeah, if you're a priest, your brother. If you're a cleric, your father. And same with sister and mother. Yeah.
Is this a male
father.
cleric?
This is a father.
Father. Vater. Ich brauche eine Hilfe. No, Father, I need your help.
Guten Tag, young man.
That's like really shitty German.
That's all German.
I need your help. True. I say, Father, I need your help. And I begin to explain that, we come from Maknara. I'm the overseer.
Right.
These are my wardens. We made our way from Zabai to Kapan. We got attacked. The illusions disappeared, so on and so forth. We have one of these people we expect. We need your help. Can you help us?
You give him the full story, and the dwarf stands there, solidly staring, face not changing at all.
Stony faced.
Yeah, stony face, just absorbing this information. When you're done, he gives a single nod and says, This is what I had expected. Everyone else was talking about murders, but it wasn't murder. It was people who disappeared and then reappeared in the same spot 15 minutes later, dead. People who witnessed their loved ones vanish and then arrive horribly disfigured and mauled. I am so sorry that this has happened to you, that you have had to wound or kill innocent people because they had been ensorcelled by some outside force.
Are
We were
some
able
of
to
them
keep one
alive?
alive.
Wait, are some of the wounded still? Did they return alive?
He shakes his head.
I cast my eyes down.
Who? The weight of guilt is upon me.
The dwarf steps forward and puts a hand on, I guess he's pretty short. You know, he would try and put it on your shoulder, but he can't quite, so he like rests it very like
crotch.
paternally on you, just above your knee, like, you know, holds the thick of your thigh and says, "Do not fear the wrath of the gods. Do not fear your own soul. Your hands are not dirtied by this. You were a victim of dark and evil magics that manipulate other people, that strip them of their will and turn them into monsters."
The thing is, Father, one of the people was, like Zephyr said here, we're from Aknara. One of the people was our Armator, a half-elf that raised me my entire life. It seems the rest of them were from the surrounding area here. It can't be a coincidence that someone we knew so dearly from so far away. This spell must have been cast at us.
Who do you know that is capable of such power and would have something against you?
I'd rather not
Krollis
say.
You're
in
acquainted
Justars Bay.
with
No,
Censor Krellis?
We have heard that he is a great and powerful wizard who may not align with us politically. And we have heard that he is experimenting with some form of summoning magics.
My daughter, your sin is not the blood on your hands from defending yourself. It is
We
hubris.
thought they were just illusions.
I don't
Father,
think, Mr. Krellis.
Which god do you patronize?
You don't?
Astaire is my chosen deity. He binds us together. He gives us structure. He creates the order that allows us to be other than the animals in the woods. Without Astaire, we're little better than goblins and ogres.
Sort of backstory question. Is Astaire like the god of justice?
No, that's his son, Velmontarius, and his daughter, Velthara, but she's like the goddess of vengeance, and he's the god of justice.
Could I make like an oath or like swear an oath of vengeance and justice before this cleric of Astaire, like have him witness it? Would that make sense?
You could use him as I am making an oath. And maybe once upon a time, your oath would have been just like a regular old, you know, I'm making a promise. But now you've been literally touched by the gods. And the world is creeping in a more heavy-handed magical realm. If you're going to make an oath to a cleric of Astaire in a sacred temple site, I think your character might feel that this oath has some very heavy weight behind it. And I would advise you to be sure you are ready to make any such oaths under such circumstances.
I'll ask him, is there a cleric of Velmontarius or what was the other one? Velthara here.
He shakes his head. No.
I'll ask him, would you witness an oath for me?
I would.
I'll get down on one knee and I'll swear. It's quite a simple oath. It's like, I swear to seek justice for the victims of this, to find the perpetrator, and if justice cannot be provided, then I swear to provide vengeance.
He rests a hand on your head as you finish up your words. And he
And
speaks.
do I do the blood pact cut hand thing? Is that
If you would like
is that
to,
more of an Aknara thing?
You can still do your own localized traditions. You want to make a blood oath? You want to cut your hand and bleed for this? That is perfectly acceptable.
I do it. I bleed on his floor.
You bleed on his floor, and he raises his chin and shouts,
Holy shit.
speaks to the sky. Astaire, great father of us all, one of your children begs that you witness her spirit. Give this child of yours everything she needs to accomplish her deeds.
Turns out I'm the guilty party, so I immediately just get the vibe to seppuku myself. No.
No thunder, no nothing.
That's just an oath, bro.
Gods can't respond to every prayer with a clap of thunder.
That's
It would
true.
just be
Yeah, haven't
fucking
you seen
chaos.
Bruce Almighty? Like, come on, bro.
Such a good film.
That would be a great one shot where it's like one of the gods is like, listen, bro, I need a vacation. You're the god of wealth right now.
That would be quite a good movie.
This summer, this dwarf is going to get more than he bargained for.
But Father, this chap here was one of the people who attacked us on the road. He still seems to be ensorcelled.
He needs.
Perhaps
Do you know
free
him?
I'm not familiar with this dwarf. But perhaps there is something I can do. He consults his level and spell availability.
If we can get this guy back to being Compass Mentis, we might actually get some answers. Like, probably not, but maybe some.
Compass Mentis. My
Yeah.
God. Speak Latin to me, Nick.
Sure, yeah. All you had to do was ask, baby.
Having checked his available spell... Wait. Having checked his available spells, the dwarf says... the cleric says... Why don't you leave this man in my care? It will be some time before I am able to probe and free him from his shackles, if I can do it at all. It may take my associates to do it.
I'll
Okay.
look
I
over
mean,
my
of
shoulder
course.
at the party and I'll say, we have other business and it might be good to keep ourselves busy.
But Father, we'll check in before we leave, as if you can rescue this man's soul, we would like to speak to him.
He nods. I will do what I can.
Point up the stained glass. What is that symbol?
He looks the tower, the man above it, the symbol. He shakes his head. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a historian. I was not involved in the construction of the temple. I think it's a symbol regularly associated with the great archmage of generations past. We had
Is
the designs done by someone in... The DM checks his notes on where glass is made in the area. Glass is made in Terrador.
Write this down.
Terrador.
Okay.
And if you are looking...
There is silence as Elijah tries to write this down. Is there a silent P in there anywhere, or is that a...
There is no
Please
silent
don't.
P in Terrador.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You said you're no historian. Is there a historian in town? Are there perhaps records of when this was created?
Kapan has only existed for a few hundred years. Just a few generations old.
An elf, maybe? That was involved?
There are no elves in Kapan. And not
There's
because humans and dwarves and elves have animosity. That is a harmful stereotype. We love our elven brothers. and sisters.
It's elves and orcs that have problems, right?
I am led to believe that orcs have problems with all peoples of the world.
You could say that again.
And vouch for that. Well, Father, thank you for your time.
At those
turn
orcs, am I
around.
right, guys? Not a good
And-
one in the bunch.
I go up to Krogor Neil and say, I sort of crouch down. Sorry about the distraction there, Krogor, but you understand it was important. But now that we're done with this, we can look for the wall.
He nods. Okay. And as the party is maybe getting ready to depart, the cleric here, the dwarven cleric of Astaire, points a finger in the direction of Elijah and says, "You there, son. Would you like to confess?"
I look at Elijah.
Me? To what?
You do not have to say these in front of your friends. Come, there is a private room. But you have the look of a man whose soul weighs heavy upon him.
He's always looked like that.
Well,
All the more reason. Come with me. Come.
Oh,
He
it's
I
says-
do
Elijah.
appreciate
I gotta,
the.
You should go, Elijah.
I gotta go say a
concern.
prayer anyways.
We should pray for some time.
He leads
Right.
you. Well, he immediately just starts walking in the direction of like this, woven wooden, like an oversized basket, really, that you could step inside of. There's one door. He'll get to it open and just leave it open and wait for you to join him.
Oh, you do your confession, bro.
I don't really have any. I don't really. I look towards Riven.
I go.
All right. I've really done this before, but I'm back in school. He sits in the basket or whatever.
I
Yeah.
turn to Cedric and say, it'll be good for him, I think.
Done. Yeah. And now I gotta go do my confessional.
There's just a simple bench on either side of this woven thing. There's nice soft fabrics on the inside, so no light shines in. There is only a single glowing lantern, magically lit, that sheds no heat, that sits above the two of you. And he sits on his stool and just looks across at you and says, "You have a heavy soul. Let me lighten it for you."
I don't really. I've never really thought about my soul as heavy, sir. I don't really. Don't think I have anything to confess. I do appreciate the offer. You have a really lovely temple. Way more. We have lovely temples over in Just Stars Bay. I'm from Just Stars Bay, by the way. I'm Elijah Evans. You might have heard the Evans family ever come through here or anything?
He doesn't answer. He doesn't clear his throat. He just keeps waiting.
Right. No, it's Evans. It's a merchant family from over in Just Stars. Listen, I'm obviously very close with all the gods and stuff, but I don't really, I'm just a bureaucrat, honestly, from Just Stars Bay, I'm not really.
Elijah Evans of Just Stars Bay.
That's
Are you
right, that's me.
proud of the life you have lived?
Who can really say, right? Such a it's. I would. Aren't we all in our own way? I've got two lovely kids, a lovely wife back home, and all that. I'm not proud. I think. Well, there's a lot of stuff, but we still, we're all on our own individual. That's what my teacher used to say back in. Oh, I think I do actually have a confession. He's trying to change the topic. That teacher actually I was just talking about, Mr. What was his name? Fairweather, I think. he was I mean, you've been to preschool. There's some teachers out there. You could just Anyway, that one day, me and my friends, and this was a really hot summer day in Jessup, and it gets moggy there, right? And we took a little jar, and we had these little. It was shrimp season actually back then. It was shrimp season, and we filled a little jar with milk, and put little shrimps in there that we got from we didn't steal them, but there was always. And we put some parchment paper over it, and tied it up, and then in the summer heat in Mr. Fairweather's room, we put that, we kind of hid that away and behind one of the things, and then it would kind of ferment, I guess you could say, and eventually when it would be really disgusting, it would pop open, and there'd just be this this would happen after a week, and there'd be this disgusting smell, and it was. I mean, I wasn't really involved in the whole operation, really. It was more my friends that were, but that was a thing I did.
Mr. Evans of Jestar's Bay. I don't know you. I don't care about you and the things you're doing. I am here to serve all the people. And when you are ready, I will be here for your confessions. When you need an ear that is truly independent, that will not revile, begrudge, or judge you for your actions. When you need a person with whom you can peel back your tattered armor. When you need a reflection, seek me out here in Kapan. I've never met a man so in need of unburdening himself, but I can see you are not yet ready, not yet there. I hope you will find me when you are ready.
Well, there is actually... He's kind of picking up on the warmth. If I may, Father, there is a thing I wanted to mention. And I mean, it doesn't even really count, or maybe it's more of a question than a confession. Generally, would you be open to that kind of situation?
I am here to help you unburden yourself. Right.
Well, help me, Father, unburden myself from this question. So is it, sinful, bad, morally, whatever. Let's say you're in a really bad situation, and there's someone they're way more stronger, more powerful than you, right? And you don't really know what to do, and they're threatening you, right? And basically they tell you you have to now kill another person, or they're gonna hurt you. And then you kind of you weigh your options, and you hurt that other person in some way, the third person. I mean, not the one threatening you, but the one that they want you to. Is that how would you what do you think about that, hypothetically?
I think we all face pressures in this world, and who we are is based on how we respond to those pressures.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for absolution over your past misdeeds, I am not providing that for you. I am also not judging you for your past misdeeds. This is a space of reflection and self-understanding.
Right.
Who did you hurt?
Well, it wasn't necessarily, it's more about like something that happened in like a...
Who?
More like a hypothetical situation.
Who will you hurt then?
Well, I'm not going to do that ever, obviously.
Who are you afraid of hurting?
Listen, man, sometimes I just really want to go home. You know, my kids, they smell so bad. I don't know what it is. But I haven't seen them in so long, Father. I haven't seen my wife in, way longer than I've been gone now. She's obviously with another one, guy and kind of my boss, but it's just been hard out here. I've been called out here for a job and now I'm doing a whole different job, and it's been really hard, and sometimes it's lonely because I don't really know any of these people. These people have known each other for years, and I'm really trying to make it in the ways that I know, and I'm trying to connect to them in the ways that I know, but I just can't feel like I can't reach them, you know?
These people do you most trust? That you feel most respectful?
Zephyr is the one who holds all the cards and all the power, and she's kind of the one who decides over my fate in a way, but
that doesn't mean you trust her the most.
I think it's probably who'd ever think I'd say this was probably the elf of all people. Damn.
I have a prescription for you. Tell the elf one true thing about yourself, without jokes, without cover-ups. Say one honest thing to the elf, and you will find a little scrap of the peace you seek. And then come back to me, he says, changing his demeanor immediately, and tell me how that has worked for you. Some distant day in the future. I think we're done here for now. And he gets up, opens the door, and walks out, leaving you on the cozy bench.
Oh, Elijah sits staring into nothingness on the cozy bench for another, say, 6-7 minutes. And then he remembers that, he's probably wants to catch up with the group and figure out what the hell's happening here, and hurries over and tries to find them.
You'll find the group. Meanwhile, Cedric has gone off to make a prayer. You said you wanted to find the little Martha shrine. Was there something you wanted to say specifically, or just generally?
I'm reaching out, Koibu. Reaching out to her, and I'm asking her.
Touching you.
Yeah. I sit down. I put some sort of wealth into the cup. Thinking, why the hell am I doing that? Gods literally don't give a fuck. Then, sitting down and basically asking, did you mean to create me? Do you even know about me? Martha? Here's my wisdom check.
You're in this short, squat, wide stone building within a sub-chamber. There's no windows to the outside. It's very quiet in here. It's just you and the cup with your coins in it. A couple of stools, a couple of little benches. 10 seconds after you finish your initial question, and that space between thoughts and breaths, you feel a very gentle sort of like rumbling through the floor. You know when like there's lightning outside and like the thunder sort of shakes the building a little bit, but imagine if the building didn't shake, but you could just sort of feel the floor tremble. It feels like there must have been a loud crack of thunder nearby, but you're in such a, you know, a well-defended building or a thick building that you didn't hear the sound except for like the vibrations in the ground. Now, maybe that's coincidence. Maybe that's the gods reaching out to you. How does Cedric feel about that potential mixed signal?
I feel like that's left him with more questions than answers. You know, if nothing happened, he would have been like, okay, yeah, you don't give a fuck. But now that something happened, he's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Why not? Like, you're here on Earth, Arcadia. So I think he's just left wandering. He leaves the money. So that's something. He might reach out again and just say, is that a sign? And wait.
There's
Assuming
no
nothing
other
happens. Yeah,
no.
he gets up. We'll go back with the party. This will probably make him reach out again in the future versus just completely going his own way.
Okay. Cool. Well, party gathered together. Everyone ready to head out to this secret basement where there's supposed to be writings on the walls, ancient writings.
Yeah, and remind us, this place, I say to Krogor, you said some rich guy bought it, right? And you worked for him?
Not quite. It's,
Did you feel
Shall
that
we-
rumbling earlier, Riven?
Rumbling? No.
Right.
Maybe you need a sandwich or something.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just hungry.
That's probably what it is. While Neil looks that up, maybe we should take a little short break. A little breaky break. Yeah.
Breaky break.
Nick, you had just asked Kroger. Would repeat the question you have just asked the dwarf that's traveling with you.
I just think I apologized for wasting time and then said, can we go back to the wall? No, I asked. That's right. You said something about you used to work here and it's owned by some rich guy now?
My grandfather was part of the excavation team that discovered the markings on the
That's
walls.
You think we're going to have any trouble getting in there?
She is a merchant. Her clan is important within the city. And this is a storage space for their wares. I can make an introduction, but it's non-typical to invite armed folks into your warehouses where you store valuables. But you've been
Yeah, that makes sense.
intelligent and persuasive, and if your cause is as just as you seem to say it is, and if you are the clerics you say you are, well, only good can come, right?
Yeah. Zephyr, get over here a sec.
You may wish to
I'll make my way over.
bribe her.
Oh, okay. Cedric, get over here a sec.
I'm on the way.
So Krogor here was just saying, I look at Elijah. He looks like, Elijah, do you want to come over?
He's like lost in thought, looking at his shoes. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, sure, for sure.
So Krogor says that the guy that owns the place where we're going in the wall, right? They use it as a warehouse, and he's some sort of, right? He's like a merchant, right, Krogor? Like a merchant or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and down there is where they store their wares. So it's not like it's a tourist location or anything, you know? They're not going to be used to letting people down there. So I think we got to think carefully about how we go about it. Maybe going in with all our weapons and armor might be a mistake. Maybe we want to have some gold on hand ready for a bribe. Maybe we need a real good story.
We could say
I
that
don't
we're
know.
here on an archaeological, historical expedition. Or something of that nature, that we're researching the history of our island, and we believe it may have something to do with this, and we would really appreciate access to the property. How many gold coins do you think access to this property is worth?
Is this Krogot? Is this person a dwarf?
She is. Her name is Ruby.
Yep.
Because I could use my spell from afar. Maybe try and charm her, so that when
It's
we
a good
get
idea.
yeah, but
But she
if
likes
she's a
us.
dwarf though, they're kind of resistant to these kind of things. No, Krogot, are they an intelligent dwarf?
All dwarves are intelligent, man.
Well, relatively intelligent dwarf then.
I suppose. I'm not intimately or personally familiar with her. My relationship is more through the family. I have no reason to suspect that she would be dumb.
I shrug. The range is long, right? So if we could spot this person out and about, I could cast it and they wouldn't necessarily know it's come from me. Like, say they pass, they resist it, and they know something's been cast at them. They wouldn't necessarily know it's come from me. However, if we then go and turn up asking suspicious questions, they might put 2 and 2 together, and we might sour our chance. What do you think, Zephyr? I'm willing to do it. Maybe we should just stick to gold and charm. Good old-fashioned charm.
I ask, could you explain to me what charm does? Post it in chat.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There you go. So basically, they'll get a...
They get a saving
they'll-
throw against spell with an
Yeah.
adjustment due to wisdom.
And because they're a dwarf, I think they'll get a +4, Neil? Or is it linked to con?
One, for every 3.5 points of con, they get a +1 on their saves.
Yeah, so maybe another +3 or +4. On top
You-
of anything for wisdom.
Do you believe that using charm person here would it have the potential to backfire?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never had it cast on me, so I don't know what it feels like if you resist it.
I'll turn to, what's his name? Krognar?
Krogor.
Krogboy? Krogor. Would you like to be charmed and let us know how it feels?
No, thank you.
Can't ask that of him.
Okay, I just thought it sounded neat. You want to try and charm me? Big boy.
Sure, but I'm sure you'll fail you won't be able to resist it, Zephyr. No offense, but you're not a dwarf.
Yeah. Oh, would it be okay? Can you cast it twice safely? Is that okay?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, you try and charm me and make me do things.
Are you sure?
We need to learn how it works.
Okay. I clear my throat nail and sort of stretch out my fingers. And then I start gesticulating and I'll cast Charm Person on Zephyr.
Elves
Okay.
immune to charm?
I
Oh, wait,
am
are elves- no, half
rolling
elves
your
aren't.
saves and doing everything behind the screen. I don't want anyone to know what's going on. And then I'm going to DM Jamie and tell Jamie how they're feeling.
What he feels. Yeah.
I think I'll be getting that next promotion, I say, winking at Elijah.
I think elves are immune to sleep. Magical sleep. Maybe not charm.
Yeah. They might get saves. I don't know.
Elves have weird shit. Nick's an elf. You're a half elf.
I'm a half elf.
You're
yeah.
both half
You're a
elves.
half elf.
Both half elves.
Yeah,
Couldn't pick a
30%
side.
resistance to sleep and charm.
Okay.
So maybe I'll pass. Maybe it'll be useful, actually. It's win-win from my perspective, this.
You ever, when you guys are in like a voice chat with your like friends, do you guys ever
Bad
just start
friends.
making like noises? True.
Of course.
Sometimes we're just sitting there and we just start going.
Yeah, we have the thing when we play League together. If you make a bad play and you acknowledge it's a bad play, you have to start making monkey noises as you make it. And like the worse the play, the louder the monkey noises have to be, you know? So if you just like kind of fuck up a little bit, you go like but if you're like diving and you know it's a really bad play and it's going really bad, you start going like you know, shit like that.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, League would be the perfect game if it had voice chat, like proximity
True.
specifically.
Oh my god.
If you could prox chat your opponent as you dive to
It
him,
would be over,
Dude,
man.
that shit that Warzone had where it turns
The
your mic
gulag?
on when you die.
Yeah, that's good. Man, League would be the best game in the world.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just a fucking Riven going balls deep on your tower and you just hear Yan going
Oh man.
I like the ape noises when you're making a bad play.
That's a good one.
Physics, skip this.
What are we waiting for again?
I am
Neil
DMing.
is
Neil's
charming
DMing.
me.
Oh, right.
So Nick finishes gesticulating,
Yeah.
and I'm standing there.
Did it work? Hey,
I don't-
Zephyr, can I borrow a gold?
Yeah, I mean, what do you need it for? I like reach into my pouch and I take out a gold.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just running a bit short.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
I give him a gold.
I look at Elijah. like,
I'm confused. I'm like,
Zephyr, can I borrow a gold?
of course. Like,
oh,
Put my
what do
hand
you
out.
need it for? Like, it's like,
I just want to have it.
okay, I give him a gold.
Make the changes on your
further
character
testing
sheets,
is
everyone.
clearly required. Jamie, Zephyr, actually, you see, I put a hand on your shoulder and I point to like, Neil, you said there was loads of like lavishly dressed people with lots of bangles and
Yeah.
necklaces and stuff like that. And Riven wears a lot of bangles and necklaces and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Zephyr, have you seen this jewelry that the people have here? It's so beautiful. I don't suppose you could lend me like a few more gold so I could go and buy some.
I mean, the jewelry is really beautiful, Riven, but like, this is a lot of money, and it's for the people of Aknara. We have a responsibility to, I don't know, I mean,
Yeah, but I'd really
I guess
like
if you
it,
had a
know?
really good reason, I could give you the gold for the jewelry, but if it's just because you want it, like, we can use your wages to buy it, but like, I don't know if that's a
Alright.
responsible use of the party's gold.
That's a good. Okay, I think maybe you resisted it, Zephyr. Good job. Did you?
Yeah,
notice
Riven,
anything?
I think it's I don't know why you want to buy that jewelry or what it has to do with this. I think it's a terrible use of our party resources. Is the party accountant? I really have to advise against.
It's called science here. Read a book or something.
I don't know. I don't feel different. I mean, like, I feel like you are important to me, and you matter to me. Like, I'm not in love with you, but like,
No.
I don't feel
He's
like I
just
should
reading
do
what Neil
everything.
sent him.
I don't feel like I should do anything you want. I'm glancing at it to see if there's any good material in there for me to use. But yeah, I don't feel like you're in charge of me.
Interesting.
I don't think maybe it didn't work.
Yeah, maybe. But did you feel any? Like, did you know? Did you feel the spell?
I like close my eyes. Neil, what did I feel? Did I feel a tingle?
Not really.
You felt a tingle in your loins.
Can we stop tingling loins in this party? Oh my god.
You didn't really. There wasn't any like, oh my god, I've been overcome by this. Like none of that. She did some things. There was like the feel of magic in the air, but like every time magic is around and you're really close to it and you know it's happening, like you can kind of sense the charge in the air.
Yeah. I got a kind of metal taste on my tongue, and it was kind of tangy, but like, I don't.
I shrug. Well, maybe we should try it then.
Okay,
I know.
let's give it a go.
Let's go.
Okay,
All right,
Kroger.
let's try it.
We need to find this individual, but at a distance, in a crowd maybe. You know where they hang out?
I can't say I feel very comfortable with this line of conversation.
Oh.
We are basically asking him to be an accessory to what is like a minor magical crime.
I thought what you had said to me seemed very reasonable. We have the Cleric of Martha over here, who's surely such a good and wholesome person. This can't be the way that clerics do things, through subterfuge and indirect action. That doesn't feel right.
It's
Well, the
more so
spell-
we're trying to avoid like having to pay a ridiculous amount of money because we have no nefarious aims.
The spell literally just skips the getting to know each other aspect, and you can only use it if you're a good person.
No, maybe Kroger's right, Kroger. Why don't you just take us over to them?
And all of society is based on the exchange of goods for equal value. If she has something of value to it, don't you think that she deserves some payment for her providing that value, for protecting these things that matter to you?
Well, I think it's a question of how did she come about that value? Why does she own that property?
Ownership
Did her
is...
ancestors kill it and take it from somebody unjustly?
Everyone
the chain
comes
of
from
ownership is-
somewhere that they're not presently. Everyone's ancestors have killed someone for their status and position. You can't go around legislating morality based on the past actions of people of your forebears.
But you
May I
can
suggest-
legislate the morality of economics based on the current actions? We are where we are because of the past actions.
Goods and services should be provided for their values. And you should pay an appropriate value for any good or service that you extract from another person. It's the transactional nature that drives us forward in society.
That's what I'm talking about. I stretched my hand out for a high five towards him.
You
and
have
what
to
if
go low
Ruby
because he's short.
charges
Yeah.
us 100 gold for something that has no value to her, but like uncountable value to us to pursue this knowledge?
Look, the Cleric
would
of
cost her
Martha
nothing.
charged me an obscene amount of money for the fertility totem that my daughter is taking.
And I agree
True.
that was an obscene
That's
amount of money.
True.
That's
I
true.
don't-
You
I
didn't
wouldn't
hear
have
me
charged you that
saying
much
that
money.
it means nothing to the cleric. I understand he's providing a service, and that service has its costs.
That's true.
Kroger's right, guys. Let's do this the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
You know, they always say humans are cheap. I didn't necessarily
Come on.
think it was true.
Oh,
Kroger.
it's true. Bigly.
People made some mistakes. Come on, lead the way. As Kroger walks off, I turn around to the party and wink.
I whisper to you. They always said dwarves are dumb. I didn't think it was true.
How good are dwarves at hearing?
When it gets very, very quiet, their ears are quite sensitive. But as soon as the din starts to pick up, they lose sensitivity pretty rapidly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just be careful with your whispers, guys.
Yeah, like if you're sitting in like a quiet jail cell, the dwarves will hear what you're whispering. But if you're like walking through the town and you're like standing behind them, they might not realize that you're talking to them. The high attenuation to relative attenuation to surroundings based on prevailing noise conditions, more so than humans. Yeah, you make your way through
They
the
have
town.
keen of ear.
You make your way through the town. You see the big tower in the distance, but that's not where you're going. You're going to this, this like 3-story building made out of stone. It's clearly made with stone, but then it's got like all of this very nice, like oak board lining around the tops and the bottoms. That's sort of like if you have a nice shirt and then you have like lapels that are slightly different material or a slightly different color or have like a nice design across them. This stone building has been wrapped in wood trim in such a way to sort of blend the hardy nature of the stone with the gentle, soft appearance of the overworld, if oak can be said to be gentle or soft. And
So this person's inside this building.
Well, this is her home. This is the estate of Ruby.
Okay.
Is there anything else
So you
you
said
need
you could
from me?
introduce us?
Of course, I can.
Introductions.
I will
Yeah.
do my best to make an introduction. And he heads up to the door,
Okay.
gives a knock. The door has a mini door inside of it, which is dwarf sized, which is technically the primary door that is opened. And a guard on the inside has a little chat with him, and he's pointing back towards the rest of you. And the guard seems to be giving some sort of resistance, and Kroger, puts his two hands together and seems to be making a very impassioned defense or plea. And the guard eventually nods, steps back inside, shuts the small door, opens the large door, which has a small door inside of it. And Kroger returns to you and says, I think it's time. It'll be a little wait. Maybe 45, a few hours, 45 minutes, I don't know. And then we'll speak with her. Come.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Kroger.
You will be brought into a waiting room. We got lots of time to wait while Ruby is freed from her other activities slowly. Is there anything you guys want to say or do before this, or we can just jump straight to Ruby?
I suppose I would chat to the party and say, like, who's taking the lead on this conversation? I have no problem doing it unless someone feels particularly passionate about leadership of the conversation.
I look around, but then say, I think it should be you, Zephyr.
A nod.
Okay. The strong lead. Let's do it.
Right.
Oh, wait, before we get into this, how much gold do we have?
Ooh,
Got about
good
I have
question.
about 50 gold on me.
I have... apparently I have... Wait, no. That can't be right.
I'm throwing out that I've got 1 gold, so...
Damn, you really can't afford that jewelry. I don't know why you brought that up. That was... money's tight right now, Riven. Like...
Yeah.
I look in my backpack and see, I don't know, like 7 bags of gold.
Wait, how much gold are you carrying?
300.
Gee, I've got 50 on me.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I've also only
Yeah,
got like
so
3 or 4 gold.
7 bags of gold, like 700 silver.
I guess we are the
Okay.
strong people.
Cedric is
We're gonna be fine
carrying
then.
22 pounds of coins on him.
Just money.
You must be
That's what we do.
drinking.
All right.
Jingle, jingle.
Time passes. Eventually, Ruby shows up. She is a tall dwarf. She's almost 4 feet tall, almost 5 feet tall. She's tall for a dwarf, quite tall. Towers,
That's my
a
kink.
nose
I'm into
above
tall
everyone
dwarfs.
else. Her
Is
hair.
it good to be a tall dwarf, or do you want to be as short as possible?
Good question.
No,
We just derailed 5 minutes because of that question.
we could easily derail for an hour. I think, generally considered, it's always good being tall because you can be seen over crowds and you just draw attention a little bit more. There's just presence is always useful. Yeah.
Being bigger is better. I mean,
Good to be
it's
tall,
like,
but not too tall.
It's the fundamental part of why like the human race is like part like orc, because like how many of you had like a grandparent who was like, Jesus, isn't he a lovely tall boy? Like, and that was like something to celebrate. It's like this boy was like 5 feet tall.
You've just described my entire life. Even to this day, right, being tall, it makes me uneasy when I meet someone taller than me. I can't. It just makes me feel uneasy. Yeah.
It's like, what are you hiding?
What do you know? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you trying to steal my thing? You know, I'm staging you right now. Like, go away.
Wait, how tall are you, Nick?
I don't know, 6'3" maybe. Just
You're
under
not
6'3".
6'3".
He's a bit
my
over
God.
6 foot because he's a bit taller than me, and I'm like, I'm 5'11" going on 6 feet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 5'10", and I know that you're taller than me, but you're not 5 inches taller than me.
All right. Well, listen. You can measure me at the wedding.
He's a.
I will
I'll be
take your
measuring
measurements.
something.
Be measuring your mom's walls.
Yeah, see, 5 minutes. Yeah. Ruby enters the building. Tall dwarf.
I used my amazing etiquette that I rolled a 1 on.
You don't need to make an etiquette check when you do it, but I appreciate that you tried.
I just wanted to click it to make it appear.
Yeah,
Also, rolling dice is fun.
rolling dice is fun.
So I'll use the normal etiquette. So what kind of like etiquette would be appropriate to talk to? This is like a merchant person?
Yeah, she's a merchant.
A well-known noble merchant?
On your understanding of the dwarven clan system is very like familial based. She's probably like they're talking about her. She's probably the leader of her clan. And so you would want to show the right amount of like, not necessarily deference, but like respect to a person who leads her people. Because they would think like clan is sort of, these are my people. So you might want to treat her like the mayor of Aknara, you know, if you were from somewhere else, or you might want to treat her as like an elder, something in that ballpark.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm making an effort to be polite. I'll be like, greetings, Ruby. It is a pleasure to meet you. I apologize that my knowledge of your society's etiquette is limited. I come here with great respect, and do I bring a gift? Fuck, I forgot to get a gift. It's always good to bring a gift. People love gifts.
People love gifts.
It's like such an easy way to win in a conversation. Is he's giving here's like a little flower from my hometown. It's like a little. God, we need to do that more. I'll say, unfortunately, I was not able to procure a gift for this encounter, but I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us, especially because you must be so busy, and you know, you probably have a lot on your plate with recent events. My friends and I, we have a relatively small request. We have heard that, well, before we get to business, is there anything we can do to help you?
I am afraid I don't know any of you, although I have been told I'm acquainted with your family, she says to Kroger, who nods a couple of times and just speaks like 2 or 3 words in Dwarven that she seems to understand and accept. I have been told you are here because there is something that I know that you would like to know, that I have knowledge critical to a godly quest. So I have taken this meeting. I don't know anything about you. I see you are armed and armored inside my house. I know the world outside at large is dangerous. And you have made a friend of someone my family has trust with. So you must be not terrible people.
Forgive us for being armed in your home. We are travelers from other places, and we had nowhere we felt comfortable leaving our arms and armor.
Understandable.
Especially, and I'll lower my voice, especially because we have been the target of what seemed to be highly surgical attacks against us. So forgive us for this trespass, but I hope you can understand that we're a little on edge and defensive.
She nods. What is it that I can do for you?
Well, we've heard that you own or have access to a very old cavern. And inside that cavern, there are old historical symbols and pieces of knowledge that we are very curious about and would like to investigate. Because we have found similar symbols dating back potentially thousands of years in our hometown. And so we would like to have access to that cavern and to investigate.
I know the cavern of which you speak. It is where I store all of my most valuable and precious goods. That is a delicate area. A great number of people would like access to that place and could comprise many lies or deceits to gain it. Show me you are true and faithful, and pay me for my time, and I will permit you to gaze upon the ancient writings.
Absolutely.
May I approach?
You may.
And if it would... Oh.
Are they injured at all?
No.
Look weary?
Not
Okay,
apparently.
I'll just cast Bless on them. Obviously, some light's gonna appear.
Yeah.
Around. Touch magic.
Okay. She just stands
And
there, accepts the bless.
Also tell her about my fertility totem, and if she'd like one for any of her family members, I'd be more than willing to happy to make one in exchange for letting us in.
Mr. Mouton, why don't you roll me a d20 for the relative fertility of her whole family? High is more fertile, low is less fertile. I think you want a low roll here. That's a 3.
Ooh.
My God, these dwarves are having huge fertility problems.
It's just the height mismatch. Some of them are taller. It's hard to get.
Hard to get it in.
You don't do it standing up.
Dwarves
Wait,
are
you
the
don't know
pandas
that?
of the humanoid world.
Yeah, don't tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
Actually, I
think
have
you're muted.
detailed notes on dwarven reproduction. There is one
Oh,
position.
nice.
that-
The hammer and anvil.
Good song.
It's probably more related to all the minerals that they're digging up in the ground, right?
yeah.
That's true. Toxic.
Yeah.
Heard quartz just makes your swimmers real weak,
Yeah. A lot of
Be
heavy
interested-
metals down there.
I'm not that into Pantera.
She thinks fertility totem. I don't believe
Cedric here
in
is a cleric of Martha.
superstitions.
This isn't superstitions. This is true magic.
True scientific godly magic.
I'm a Martha cleric. See, been touched by the goddess herself, you'd say.
She gives you a look over. Make me a charisma check real quick here, Mr. Mouton.
Hey, now I roll high.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I roll lower. Now
She
one.
gives you a nice up and down gaze on your natural one on your charisma check. Pauses and says, I am here for something more transactional. What you have suggested is extremely personal. I understand humans are easy with personal acquaintances, that humans find it easy to slip in and out of relationships and bond with one another. Amongst my people, that is not so easily done.
Okay.
And while you have not offended me, your offerings are far too intimate for me.
I nod. Well, then cash. Cash is king.
Cash
We
is
do
king.
have some financial resources, although we're from an island that is not the most prosperous.
I stand up.
We
Sorry to
could
be a
also-
pain. I don't suppose that I could use the little boys' room, could I? Or the little
Surely
girls' room?
hope not, unless you mean the bathroom.
That's what I meant. The bathroom.
Okay.
Sorry, Ruby. Would that be okay?
There is a... Yes. She gets up, goes to the door, opens it. There's a dwarf outside, and she calls him by his first name in the common tongue and tells him to take you to to the closest restroom.
Okay. What I'm trying to do, if I can get a moment where I'm alone and I've got line of sight on Ruby and I'm not in audible distance of anyone else during this process,
That's a tall order.
I would like you to let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything super suspicious to try and get it, but I might, ask for some privacy from the dwarf, for example.
Yeah, I mean, he'll lead you to a room somewhere where there is a chamber pot set up with a nice proper toilet for it. And he'll escort you there and back because it's a big house and you don't want to get lost, and because you'd be a fool just to let strangers wander around your house in this day and age.
Yeah.
And then he'll escort you back. You don't get the vibe that he's like keeping a close eye on you, but
He's going to notice if I cast a spell, though.
he's going to notice if you cast a spell. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I go to use the bathroom and come back. Sorry.
Nice try. Meanwhile, back in the room, we said cash is king. And
Cash is king.
Ruby says, 2 things. I will accept cash, but if you learn what this writing says, I also want to know. It has been here for some time. I have shown it to a few people. My own people see it frequently, and yet I know nothing, and I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
How about if we learn what the writing says, we tell you for no payment?
I think, and I'll turn to Cedric and I'll say, I think that is actually a decent offer, but I don't think we hold enough cards in the negotiation to not hand over something right now. She has no confidence that we will translate it. We could arrange for a return of cash at some future point in exchange for translation.
Let us not keep
You know,
this
as humans,
more...
we're cheap.
Yes. Let us not
Like we're
keep
gonna
this
give her
more
a bond?
complicated than it needs to
How much?
be.
I put my hand in my bag.
She muses. She looks across the party. She's going to make herself an intelligence check to see how much money do these people have and how much might they be able to part with. This is going to be an in check and a wisdom check. And then I'll give her a demand based on... So her intelligence is not bad. Not bad
She's
at
like
all.
Sherlock Holmes that Cedric is a blacksmith and theorized that he's therefore rich.
True.
It's like he's got, you know, like scars on his arms from being over a forge. He's muscular.
Well, the problem
bother.
is that she just doesn't deal with humans and half-elves very often, and reading your facial cues is just harder than she would have liked. She rolled great on her stats, and she rolled abysmally on her check. It was a 4 on the die for her int and a 2 on the die for her wisdom. So she gazes over this party, your old armor that's been like dented and polished and undented and dented, like, you know, it's seen better days. These ancient shields
we
that
are
you've
poor.
got. This,
Yeah,
you know,
we actually are
robe
poor.
that doesn't quite fit Elijah. He's been wearing this red robe so he can cast these spells, but he hasn't like actually gotten a new set of clothes, and it doesn't quite fit him as well as he would like. And
It
Riven,
bothers him too. Like he wouldn't bring it up because he doesn't want to seem vain, but like he does. It sucks, man. Like
Yeah.
I actually took a mental note earlier. Kapan seems relatively wealthy for trade. Should upgrade party's clothing? ?
yeah, yeah, and Riven looks like a dirt poor elf who, you know, lives on a dirt floor and plays with flowers because that's the only thing she can afford to play with. They can afford to play with. So she takes a look at the party and she asks you, I was told this was a godly mission quest. Can you tell me how this relates to the divine?
I look to Riven.
well,
Riven, you are our expert in the matters of translating the old texts and knowledge.
that is true. But Ruby, I look at Zephyr and I look back at Ruby and I say, to give you the truth of the matter, Ruby, I would have to tell you some things that you'd have to keep close to your chest. You'd have to keep it secret, in fact.
She leans in.
They would be dangerous and valuable secrets if we were to share them.
We don't ask for coin, necessarily. But if I were to share these details with you, I guarantee there'll be answers to questions that you would want to know. Questions that you've probably already been asking yourself in the months past.
Tell me.
Well,
I give Riven the nod that I approve of revealing intel.
3 months passed. A meteor fell from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You remember this?
They say it was the gods coming to this earth, and yet I have not seen what deity it could be.
Well, the gods, it was the gods, and they landed on the island of Aknara. We watched them ourselves. Many folks on our island were killed in the crash. And the
Verasi?
gods left their mark on Aknara. I look again at Zephyr.
I nod for you to keep going.
It was not Verasi, but, and then I say, motioning at Cedric, Martha, And then I say, motioning at Zephyr and Malchus.
I told you I was touched by the gods.
And you saw them
Well, literally.
with your own eyes. You saw the divine
more-
in form.
That's correct.
Malchus winked at me as I stood among the dead.
That's right.
And Aknara was forever changed when this happened, not only because of the blast from where the gods landed, but because of ancient secrets long lost and forgotten to all but the most devout followers of the Farron Empire became revealed once more, and that is why we seek further clues to their meaning. We wish to unlock the secrets of Aknara, but to do so, we must travel all across Ferodia and gain context to what we have found.
There are endless legends, I'm sure you've heard many of them, from days long past, where gods would anoint heroes or bands, kings, sorceresses with divine quests. Are you here to free us from the tyranny of Censor Krellis and the rest
Well.
of the Verasi raiders, invaders, murderers, cutthroats, rapists, thieves, pillagers?
Well, I can tell you that one half of my heritage lies sieged in their homeland right now, close to here, and I'd like to see nothing more than Corbett Krellis's grip on Ferodia fading away. And I can tell you that you may have heard of some strange happenings in Kapan overnight, people disappearing and returning dead. This was the result of a summoning spell directed at us directly, we believe, carried out by the Empire. They seek to stop us, for they
Specifically,
fear
we
us.
believe Krellis.
You've taken a great risk in revealing this story to me, but you have been wise in your judgment. I will aid you on this journey, but do be careful. Not everyone is as dispossessed with the Empire as I.
Luckily, our leader here, I say motioning at Zephyr, is an extremely good judge of character.
And the enemies of the Empire will always find a friend in us. And I'll put my hand to my sword and I'll say, may I draw my weapon?
She nods.
I'll just hitch it up. I
Fucking
took
killer.
this. I took this sword from a Verasi captain because he killed one of the people on our island. We slaughtered every orc and a mage, and we hunted down their friends, and we killed every single one of them for what they did. So believe you me, we are no friends of the Empire. And then I'll the sword back.
Good. Good. I would aid you on this. For a small, reasonable fee
300 gold.
of 50 gold.
All right, I pull out a bag of gold and hand it to her.
She takes it. She opens it. She counts it in front of you.
Jesus Christ.
And then she agrees and will lead you personally downstairs. And you'll see that, when she heads out, she's not alone. She's got some friends, family members, armed people with her. Although she wasn't armed, she didn't have bodyguards in the room while she was talking to you. That either means she is very trusting or she's a completely capable warrior on her own and doesn't need bodyguards. But she's a merchant, so, you figure it out. She'll take you down into this basement area, which is dark. The dwarves don't really need a lot of light. And so they'll bring in torches and lanterns from elsewhere to show you the wall. Now, when you come down into this basement area, you can see the difference in construction. The building you were in above is this very solid stone with this nice wood trim around it to make it look very pleasant. But it's got these like nice hard square angles. It's got these really good sturdy arches that help support everything, so that you get the impression you could drop a dragon on this house and it would just like hold. It's built for like strength within like a little bit of softness for show. This area downstairs, the stone itself is different. Like the color is different, the age is different. You can immediately tell like we're working with different materials, but also the nature of the architecture is different. It's round. It's a big circular area. It must be like 150 feet across once the lanterns are out.
Have we seen architecture like this before?
None of you are great architects. Give me an intelligence check here at like -2. Yeah. You know, all this shit kind of looks the same.
Okay.
Yeah. But down here, as opposed to what you're seeing above you,
very different.
It's quite different. It has a plainness to it where like it's 150 feet across and the room is fairly tall, maybe like 20 feet, but there's no supports in the middle to hold up the roof. And so you've just got this huge unsupported roof, and it gives you this uncomfortable feeling that it could fall down upon you at any minute. And yet it's been here for maybe thousands of years. There's this like delicateness to it that is almost unnerving.
Are there tool marks on the stone? Sometimes old structures will have, like, you'll see like the marks of chisels that have like, or are they smooth?
The walls are generally, they look like once upon a time they were smooth, but that the, just moisture and humidity and the heating and cooling cycles have broken off little tiny bits here and there. Like it's got a ever so slightly, very gently worn surface all around it. But there is one wall near the entrance. Well, let me rephrase. The general surface is like that, as I've described. There are some sections that have clear deformation where someone has taken tools to the walls to disfigure them. And, there's like a big scraggy over here. There's some other markings over here. There's a section where like the wall has been not collapsed, but like blocks have been removed, or at least the face has been cut off. And then there's one section that you can see that they will put their lanterns on and illuminate to you, and it's going to look like this. There are 5 symbols atop the top, and then a line of text, or a row of lines of text in a language you don't understand. And then right next to that row of text lines is like a section that has been carved out, as if there used to be, there was more stone here and someone has come through and intentionally removed the markings beside the text.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, okay. I make everyone take a step back and say, I'm going to try and cast a spell to understand this writing. And I start to cast Comprehend Languages, touching the writing.
Yeah. You can comprehend. Hopefully someone is nearby to write down what you have to say, because once this is gone, you won't be able to see it anymore.
That's a good point. I could use dictation to write it down if somebody has a parchment.
I have a writing kit.
Yeah.
And a writing kit, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so I will cast Comprehend Languages, and then I will cast Dictation, and I will read out the text and have the quill
Excellent.
write down the answers for
The
us.
text is a series of like titles. It reads Entropy Poles,
Oh my God.
Orb of Imprisonment, Fountain of Youth, Magic Boats, Black Bag, Memory Stones, Orb of Destruction, Orb of Dragon Command, Avatars of the Elemental Planes, Stone of Skipping, Choking Claw, Armor of Invulnerability, Rod of Recall, Gauntlet of Death, Robes of the Archmagi, Staff of the Magi, Rod of All Realms, Rods of this Realm, amulets of non-detection, helm of telepathy, portals and gateways.
Holy fuck. It's like a list of magic items.
Huh?
I say as I start reading out.
I recognize some of these. I say when you're
Yes.
finished. Dinesh, he crafted the black bag and the rod.
Yeah.
The rods
rod
of-
of all realms, the rods of this realm, and the rods of recall.
Yeah.
I wonder what was
But-
here, I say, tracing my hand over the groove.
Maybe the location? Rug.
Maybe the creator. Would you not have the item and then the creator beside it? Or who it has been assigned to? Or
Maybe.
maybe the location.
Ruby speaks up. We have looked at this many times. We've never understood the words. You say that this is a list of magic items? She
I
obviously
think
heard
so,
you
yeah.
read it out.
From the time of the Farron Empire.
Not only would these items be magical, these would be the most magical items in the world.
Can
I agree.
I give you an ancient history check for the symbols at the top?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please.
Do you want one for each, or do you want one for all?
I want one for everything.
Okay.
Don't roll a 20, please.
Can I get a bless? Bless help with this?
I bless.
I don't know.
It can't hurt, can it?
It can't hurt. That's next saving throw or stat check. No, so not a skill, not a proficiency check.
29.
17 plus 14. No, plus 3 minus
12.
1. Yeah, 17 plus 12.
Where's the -1 come from?
I think ancient history has a minus
It's just
1.
an ancient
Oh,
history. Yeah, it has a
okay,
minus
yeah,
1.
Yeah. It's a very good roll. Now, you've seen this large middle symbol many, many times. It
bunch
keeps
of
coming
times.
up over and over and over again. The symbol on the right, this weird T with like a bulge coming out of the bottom, it's a little less angular. I'm just bad at drawing. That sort of makes it look like it's a series of sharp lines. That should just be a nice gentle curve, but I suck at drawing.
Almost like a musical note.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a musical note with a weird T that crosses it. Maybe musical notes have T's that cross it. I'm not sure.
Would I be able to, like, the way these are like arranged and stuff like that, right?
Would you what?
Would I be able to do like a bureaucracy check to see if it reminds me of the way that anything else? I've seen hundreds and thousands of papers and, you know, spreadsheets and all that in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to maybe get some loose association here of what this could remind me of, you know? Because it's, yeah, if I'm good with anything, then it's a bunch of, then it's lists, right? And this is basically a list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a shopping list.
Just like a, yeah, but like the formatting of it, if it like evokes anything, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why don't you make me a bureaucracy check and I'll tell you what you get from that. That's a natural 1 on your bureaucracy check. Reminds you of nothing.
Yeah.
Did Cedric get an answer about the TB?
Yeah, I am reviewing my notes here, but they are
deep note.
extensive.
I point to the bronze, silver, and gold that also have 1, 2, and 3 red markings in them.
Mm-hmm.
Are those
Almost like
gems
it's
or no?
some sort of ranking, right? Like bronze with 1 marking, silver with 2, gold with 3. Maybe it's a key. Like maybe each one of those magic items had
Add 1 next to it.
a rank, like 1, 2, or 3. Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Because that seems like it's like what's etched out is small.
Yeah.
So it seems like one of those symbols would fit, yeah.
Oh, was it
that,
just like
yeah.
a strip that was etched?
Yeah, it's just one strip that runs down the list that's been carved away.
Almost like where a bullet point or a numbering
Yeah.
would be.
Interesting.
You rolled a 29 on your ancient history check, Mr. Mooton.
Right.
I don't think you recognize any of these things. I'm double checking here. The marking on the right side. No, I don't think you've seen that anywhere. The bronze, silver, and gold with the 1, 2, and 3 red dots. That's not gems. These are painted on.
Got it.
The Ruby will tell you. I don't think you recognize any of those, although the ring does look like half of Martha's symbol. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Which does?
The gold circle.
The gold ring.
Martha's symbol is 2 interlocked circles together. They don't usually have the studs, but they do overlap in 2 places. But Nick, you had said that they looked like, what'd you say? Like rankings or something?
Like ranking, yeah.
Yeah,
like
they
bronze
kind of
tier,
like,
silver tier,
if you
gold
look at
tier.
a bronze, silver, gold tier, or like 1 chevron, 2 chevron, 3 chevrons on a shoulder, they do sort of look like rankings.
The one thing throwing me off is that I would have thought that like a star would be better than a column.
Well, maybe not in a world that thinks the universe is circular or whatever, right? Isn't like the...
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. It also, I guess that like 1 stud fits in the star, whereas
The other
like
thing
2
is-
studs kind of fit on the column.
If you think of it mathematically, right? Like the star, that's like a point. A line is like 2 dimensions, and then the circle could be like 3 dimensionality or whatever. You know, you could. There's a lot of different ways you could interpret it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Is there anything else in this cavern?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of shit. There's all these crates and boxes. There's a bunch of like
all her shit,
loose
though.
yeah, all of her stuff is lying around, but she says this is the only section of the walls that are that contain anything of interest.
Well, that's
I will
what
try
you
one more
think.
spell if that's okay.
Reveal doors?
Ruby.
I was going to look for doors. Yeah.
Yeah, you look for doors. I'm going to cast Detect Magic just to see if there's anything super magical down here.
Go ahead and cast Detect
yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
Caster becomes sensitive to the field
So-
of background magic to feel the differences. You need stillness in body and mind. And in the field of background magic, using the spell while dancing or moving doesn't really work. Range intensity.
So I channel it for 3 minutes.
That would
So
allow
you
you
can
to
get up to
feel
40 feet.
moderate magic.
Up to 40 feet with a radius of 40 feet, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty big area.
Physics, skip this.
We're skipping.
Yeah. Sorry.
Do a little skipping.
Good.
Okay, so Nick, we're back. Your range is normally 10 feet. If you channel it for a round, you can double the range or you can increase the sensitivity, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. So do you want to be searching
walk
within
with
10
it, though,
feet of
right?
you?
How big is the room?
150 feet across. Huge.
How concentrated are the things? Everywhere, equally split.
They are
Or sort of
well
equally
dispersed and then like divided into like subsections that must be meaningful to them. So like there's a group of 6 things over here and then like a nice big gap and a group of 5 things over there.
I just do 40 feet radius
Okay.
for overwhelming.
Yes, you find no overwhelming magic in this area.
Okay.
Okay.
I shrug.
I
Nothing
look
here.
for doors.
Yep, you can walk around. You can get a lantern from one of the many dwarves that have come down with you. And you can walk the perimeter. You're a dwarf searching for, a half elf searching for doors. You find no hidden or concealed doors into this place. Only the one main entrance that leads down. Now, that said, there are boxes and crates and rugs and things on the ground. There might be a secret trapdoor hidden underneath one of these boxy thingies. Some of these supplies.
It's
Can I
more likely to
investigate
be
the
something that
roof?
she made than.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like there would be stuff on top of here, right? Like this is like the basement of a tower. Isn't that what?
It's a wall, right? Some sort of
Look
wall.
up to the ceiling. It's the
is there,
smoothest, least damaged thing of all, but you can see little black smoke marks where someone must have stood with the torch underneath it for a long period of time, and the torch and candle smoke sort of have painted the ceiling dark.
There's nothing like a carved out, like a doorway, like an old trap door. That
No. It's worth noting that you're about 30 feet underground right now.
That's what I'm thinking. Because the other ruin we found, how far underground was it? It was pretty deep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole tower, right?
Yeah,
And
like
the
you.
construction here.
Go ahead.
It was a whole tower, yeah. And the construction here isn't completely different, right? I don't remember.
It's not completely different. You're not an architect. You're not an engineer. They're both old buildings. They have that characteristic old building vibe. If it was built at the same time or around the same time, that doesn't seem an unreasonable assumption to make.
Not enough information. Every step we take is a step forward, but it just makes the maze bigger.
It confounds us further, yeah.
Did you
Well,
get what you
Ruby?
needed?
Yes, I think so. I look at the others.
These things that you
Only more questions. yeah.
listed, these items, these magical artifacts. I recognize only a few of their names. The Fountain of
When you
Youth.
say you-
It is said that the White Prince in the Dardanelles is the possessor of a Fountain of Youth.
Is that so?
The second time that he's come up.
I don't
Who would
know
be his friend?
if he is one who would speak with you. He's a devout cleric of Astaire. She looks to Zephyr. I don't know if he would be amenable to a cleric of Malchus at his doorway. They say
Well,
he has great control over his territory, but that there is a dragon who has recently risen from the sea to challenge him.
Let's go.
the Dardanelles are far away, and we've not even come close to exhausting our leads here in Ferodia.
Perhaps we could visit the White Prince. However, from what I've heard of him, he seems like a strange man. He lives in a maelstrom that is clearly, gifted by Malchus, and yet spits in his face, claiming Astaire is the only one. All the gods deserve our attention.
I cannot say I have met or befriended this prince overseas. I don't
other
necessarily
ones do you know
trust
about?
someone who is so singularly devoted to a concept. They say the man is human, but he is hundreds of years old.
Artificially extending his life. You could consider that. I would imagine the gods would consider that spitting in their faces.
Or
They
perhaps
gave-
they are gifting him. Astaire may be his greatest champion.
Possibly, but I believe the gods gave everyone the lifespan that they should have. Elves and dwarves are long-lived, humans are short-lived, and there was a divine plan. To go against it could be blasphemous.
Could be.
Either way, I hear that the Empire now turns its sights on the Dardanelles. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Perhaps when things have progressed further in our quest, we may find reason to make acquaintance with the prince.
That's good counsel.
I wish you the best
Ruby, you
luck
met-
on your
you
journey.
You mentioned you recognize more of these names.
Well, I think we all know, we have all heard of robes of the Archmagi, the staff of the Magi, helm of, what did you say? You called it a
Telepathy.
Helm of Telepathy, yes. These are familiar names to me. Orb of Dragon Command, I think, is self-explanatory. But these others...
Curious what the black bag is.
Yeah. Doesn't sound great.
Hmm.
Neil, I run my hand down the ridge that's been carved out. Is there any remnant of...
No.
Yeah, like...
No, it's like a
it's
good
all
solid
smooth.
inch cut deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe someone.
How does it
maybe
look
if
like
there
it's
were
been
those,
done?
Chisels. Many
Yeah,
blows
okay.
over time, yeah.
Maybe if there were those like metal things, someone took them out for the gems and the money.
Yeah, maybe.
Then why
There's a
did they leave the
spell
other
called
ones?
like reverse time or something that lets you like,
Oh,
you know, like undo sort of changes to objects. If we ever
Oh,
get that,
shit.
we could come back here and maybe reverse it.
I think we're a while away from that right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I think we've got all we can for now.
I will ask Ruby to, if in the course of moving around product in here, it may be possible that there is a trapdoor, perhaps
She shakes her head.
the floor
No.
has been repaired at some point. There may be a way down deeper
When
or a way up.
this place has been thoroughly inspected, there are no further exits, no further doors, only these markings, which I have kept intact against the advice of my clan, who thinks that these markings will only draw the attention of the unwanted.
Well, you made the right decision.
I have not advertised these markings to anyone, and should you share their existence, I do suspect someone from the Empire would eventually come to see them.
We will try
Don't
to
worry.
keep
We
your
won't be
secrets
sharing.
secret.
I have no need to make an enemy of these Verasi loyalists. If they come asking, I will share with them the same things I have shared with you. Do we have an understanding?
Won't tell a soul. Oh yeah.
We do.
Splendid.
We from Aknora are tasked with keeping these kinds of secrets secret.
Good. Good. If you can bring about the end of their reign,
Well,
I would smile.
Well, I don't know about that.
baby steps at least.
We can do what we can locally, but I don't know if we're at the level of challenging empires just yet.
You've been touched by the gods. Malchus himself winked at you. They do not idly arrive and spare people from destruction. They must have a purpose for you.
We may have proven ourselves worthy for the initial challenge, but the gods don't grant you a great purpose. They grant you the possibility of a great purpose, and it is up to us to seize it.
Spoken like
we
a
could
merchant.
fall and die tomorrow.
Well, I think our business is concluded. Good luck on your journey.
Thank you,
Ruby. Jinx. I'll reach out, I'll shake Ruby's hand, and say, it's nice to have another friend. I have friends everywhere.
She gives you one affirming bob of her head and makes for the exit. In the darkness, because she doesn't need the light, but the other doors will shine the lights around so you could find your ways out. And soon you're back out in Kapan, just vibing on the surface of the city.
Well done, Krognar. That was a great adventure. Incredibly useful.
Yep.
You've earned your keep.
Well,
Almost like a real warden.
I'm just eager to get back to my home. All this violence and chaos, it's more than I would like. I'm a simple man at the end of days. I just want to be with my family and enjoy a good pint.
It'll be a simple grandfather.
You just want to grill.
soon.
You just want to grill, man.
I would just prefer to grill. Yes.
Well, Krogor, I'm not sure if you would be safer on the road with us or without us, but I'm sure we'll be leaving on the morrow, I say, looking at the rest of the party, so if you want to travel with us, you're welcome.
No.
Agreed.
Best to get a head start. Zabaya waits.
All right, good luck on the road,
And
friend.
I promise, if you are summoned against us, we will not kill you. We will do everything we can to save you from that curse.
The blood leaves his face. He stares at you. Could that happen? Now that we've met,
I have
is
no
that going to
idea.
happen?
I have no idea, but I promise we would never harm you if it did.
Oh, God.
Fear not, friend. Comfort yourself with images of your daughter being
Impregnated.
plowed viciously.
Absolutely. Raw dogging it.
We had such a good vibe going on. It was serious.
Don't forget that this man is here because he wants his daughter/granddaughter to get raw dogged.
He wants grandkids. It's a reasonable thing for someone to want in life.
He doesn't know that what he wants is he doesn't want a raw dogged without purpose.
I will tell
He
Ruby,
wants an outcome.
as
He
we're
doesn't want a
leaving,
raw
like,
dogged in vain.
if you ever need, assistance with your lineage, you'll find me on Eknara.
I provide all manner of services related to contraception.
Aknar is quickly becoming the fertility clinic of Ferodia.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have
Right, we're gonna
protests
need
and everything
people.
soon.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get
well,
it
we
in
see-
for the night and call
We
it.
see Krogar off. Yeah, we should check back in at the temple before we leave.
100%.
Oh, shit.
You can.
Brothels are gonna want infertility totems.
Yes.
True.
Oh my god, that's genius.
They're gonna want them.
That's we
You
sell
could
them
make
for
some
fortune.
fucking
I could
money.
make some fucking money, man.
And it'd be doing the world a service as well.
Fuck, I didn't think about
Malchus
that.
would be pissed though, because I bet he loves that shit.
Oh, you think?
He just
That's some
loves
true chaos.
pregnant.
yeah, that's true.
prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy goes, cheats on his wife now as a kid, Crazy.
Yeah.
Certainly chaotic.
I would bribe you to turn 1 in 10 of them into fertility totals, just to throw that little
Yeah.
bit of chaos in there.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay.
So party.
We get it in for the night.
You can get an in for the night. You're gonna have to pay out some money. It's gonna be like 5 silver a head. But you're flush. Someone pay
Okay.
out. Yeah.
2 gold.
20 silver,
Yeah,
2 gold.
You got it.
You can check in tomorrow at the temple. But before that, before you get that last little bit of information, where to next? You visited a bunch of islands. You visited Kapan and Zabat. You've got a bunch of clues, but you don't quite
We're gonna go
have
home.
a picture yet. The clues aren't necessarily leading you somewhere, right? You're like, you've got part of a map, but you've got like this corner and this middle spot, and you can't see a big picture.
I think we need to go back to Aknara to check on the
Yeah, we gotta
Avatar,
go
right?
back to Eknara. That's like the next.
Okay, perfect.
And that sets us up to visit some of the other nearby islands too.
Yep.
That might have
Well, maybe
clues
this
on them.
one down here.
Yeah.
I'm liking the look of this one.
Maybe we could do like a boat hop, like a full.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Check
You
them
know?
all out.
Hit these 3
I'll
islands
trace it
here.
out for you, Neil, so you remember.
I agree.
Hey.
So
Oh.
And then-
go something like this, and then
That's the plan.
Well, I feel like we would stop at this island and go around it, and then.
yeah. Oh, you want to stop at this one too?
Well, it's safer to be near land, right?
Yeah, true. I will redo my. Can you delete your traitor line, please?
I'm sorry. Let me help you.
Yeah, there you go, Neil. That's our plan.
Excellent.
Next time.
Okay.
Beautiful.
9.
XP.
Let's talk to the temple first.
Yeah, let's do the temple
Juice me.
first.
Oh, I wanted that XP. He said it, and then I wanted it.
Well, we rested
Fuck,
tonight, you know?
I'm like a dog.
You can't-
You say you want a
Yeah.
treat, and I'm like, experience, yeah. Give me
Dude,
the experience.
you can't say experience and then not give it. It's like really cruel.
I want my treat.
All right. So you get back to the temple the next day. The cleric there tells you that this morning he tried both the remove curse and dispel magic spells and did not get anywhere with this guy. Now, that could mean a great many things. I can continue to try and dispel magic from time to time, but my spells are limited. There are some cooperative magics that may be of assistance, but I will need my other clerics for help. I may
Need to
even call in someone from afar. However, the censor of Ferodia is a summoner, a conjurer. And if these are his magics, I may not want to advertise that we are trying to subvert them here. I would like to try less public, more private methods and leave this poor creature under observation for time. Summoning spells surely can't last forever, but if they've been here more than a day, something strange is afoot.
We
I
could
trust you to
also.
figure it out.
Did we knock him to 0 health?
Yes.
You knocked him unconscious. I don't know if you got to
didn't
0
vanish.
or if you did like a KO blow. Can't remember.
I'm wondering if
I
there's a
believe
way.
it was to 0.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there's a way, because like killing. So this is sort of out of character. Killing characters makes them reappear where they were summoned from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what if we almost killed him? He loses consciousness, and then we quickly heal
Well,
him.
we should actually have some knowledge on that, right? When we downed people, did they bleed out for a bit before disappearing? Or did they disappear immediately after going down?
Immediately after going down.
So in theory, we could knock someone... It sounds like we could knock them down to like -2, -3. They'd reappear where they disappeared, and then they could be healed. So to use that knowledge, we would have to find out who this
Where
man
he disappeared
is
from.
and where he was. Yeah, so we could be ready to save his life upon the blow.
Do we want to talk about that in character?
Yeah, I think maybe I'm sharing that thought in character. Yeah.
I don't think it's important for us to deal with this guy.
Perhaps important for you, Father. I think that would work.
Violence will be a tool of last resort. I would hate to bring harm to an innocent caught up in the weaves of villains.
The innocents are often the first to suffer.
That is true. But I will do my best to protect this one until such time as we determine they are beyond help.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you
Father,
for
if you
not
make any
killing
significant
them.
breakthroughs, can you send word to Aknara?
I will leave word at Aknara if I make any breakthroughs.
Thank you.
Do you follow the White Prince? You're like head cleric?
I have heard of the White Prince by reputation only. They say he is an extremely powerful cleric of Astaire. I think we are aligned in a great many respects, but I serve my local people. I would never rule my local people. There are a great many clerics of Rossi who help us all walk from one life to the next, who would not wish to bring death and destruction to the world. I am similarly opposed to the concept of using divine judgment to dominate others.
None.
Then we shall return to our island. Thank you for your assistance, Father.
Thank you, Father.
Huzzah!
Thank you, Father.
And the party
Thanks,
can
Daddy.
leave.
Yeah, all right.
And 2 days later, we will get back to Aknara.
We're safe on the road from Kapan.
Totally
sweet
safe.
Home.
Okay. Do we want to end here, or do we want to work out if the Armator is dead?
I don't think I can handle knowing it tonight. But if everyone outvotes me, I will accept it.
Yeah, let's end
I
here.
don't
Then.
mind. Yeah.
XP.
XP, yeah.
We all wanting
XP?
to wait on the Armator?
XP? Does someone say XP?
Yeah.
Okay.
XP?
Yeah.
Wait on the armature.
Where's my cookie?
It's a good hook to open the next episode with.
It is.
Got it.
Ooh,
Got it.
So,
All right.
we
content
should be
brain.
thinking about.
It's not going to be a ton of XP, guys.
It's
Don't get
not
your
going to be a
hopes
ton
up.
of
So
XP.
it's gonna be
We
so
did
much
so
XP.
much role play.
Yes, you
Right.
We
did.
did a lot of roleplay.
Yes, you did. You
That
were
usually
a good
gets me
role
so
player.
many good boy points.
Okay, let me get some XP background music. We might have to cut large swaths of this while I tally things up. So
Skip this.
Just add the Final Fantasy level up noise, or the end of battle thing.
All right, well, then I'm going to kill the
Man, that
background.
music's such a good music.
Oh, you liked
Makes
it?
me feel good. Even just you doing that then was made me feel good, Jamie.
That's the music of my childhood. Final Fantasy VI.
So cool.
All right, so we have 4 players. Okay, so group XP is we arrived at Kapan. That's a new location. That's worth a little bit of experience just for exploring new parts of the world. We had very interesting interactions with Ruby. I don't know if you would quite call her like an ally, but she's a supporter, perhaps.
You definitely let her in.
Yeah.
You were vulnerable with her and shared secrets with her, and she didn't charge you very much to see her prized goods. That did not come out the way I meant it to. I'm so sorry. That really was the wrong language to choose there. But you did make some ends with Ruby. Kind of haphazardly
clue.
all over the place. Jan, you had an interesting interaction with that Cleric of Astaire, which I think is worthy to reward. Mooten, you had some great ideas about the stained glass and trying to inspect them. I would like to reward that. Let's see what's going on over here. What else was a group XP? Oh, right, the writings that we uncovered. That is more clues. That is even better clues. That is a big clue. That is a list of hugely important magical items, right? All of those seemed either important or vague enough that maybe they were important.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Discovery. Love it. Nick, you created a couple of nice little role-playing openings for your allies. They didn't take them, but like you still put in the legwork to be like, hey, Mooten, why don't you come, or not Mooten, Jan, why don't you come and say something nice to me right now, like you were told to. Like you opened the door for him, and he walked past it, which is also, great on Jan's part because any sort of interaction like that can be fun.
Yeah.
We'll add some experience here and there.
Are we on clever ideas yet?
Yeah, we're on all the things. What do you got?
I feel like the ley line linked to Krellis casting his summoning spells and working out that maybe that he was trying it before the Godfall and the Godfall turned the ley lines on or powered them up. I think that that's probably right, and that
whether or
sounds
not it
clever
is
idea.
right, it is a clever idea. I like that you are trying to piece together clues and create a narrative that makes sense. Definitely reward worthy. Let's see, James. You had your moment by the pool. No, you volunteered to be like, no, we're not going forward to those gates. I'm going to go and look at this pool because like I am feeling,
Emotional.
sometimes I have to prompt players to be like, tell me what their characters are thinking and feeling. And sometimes my players show up and they're like, this is how I'm feeling in this moment. I'm going to demonstrate it through like good role playing. So rewards.
Absolutely. That's a big XP moment right there. That's like 500 easily. You know, that's like a big one.
Yeah, it's like huge, huge.
If I tell you it's huge, will you like me more? I'm sorry.
Let's see. Writings. Father, dude. He didn't have any conversation with you. He didn't have any conversation with you. You did that thing. Yeah, Nick, you felt a little bad about maybe killing Cassia.
Yeah,
maybe.
I did.
But that's okay.
No, I do feel bad. I mean, I killed
You
her.
better not have killed her, you son of a gun.
I mouth-sassed her. I didn't just kill her. I fucking melted her.
With acid.
Yeah.
Oh, and
This
everyone
crazy
survived.
thing, isn't it? She was like holding out on telling us stuff that we might now never know. Or we could raid our house and maybe find some answers. I don't know.
It's all oral.
Yeah. You have to clarify the
Me and your
tradition,
mom
but
have some serious oral tradition.
True. We're not doing XP for spells, are we?
I don't think there was any spells here that were particularly XP worthy.
I managed to charm my party leader and boss.
Did you though?
Did you though?
But I feel like if I did though, that would be an XP.
I mean,
moment.
they said charm me, baby, and you said okay. That's not quite
Yes.
XP worthy. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you can't just go around sneaking and climbing walls in non-dangerous situations to grind that rogue XP.
It's the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
That gets you
All
the
right.
XP.
Here we're gonna do so PotatoMcWhiskey and MrMouton, you are both taking home 500 experience points today.
I knew it. That's how much I deserve.
Nice.
And how much else? That was just for that one roleplay, right?
That's total experience for the session, buddy. Jan
I level up.
Etor, you get 650
nice.
experience.
That was a
And
great Scrubs reference.
Nick Olas, you get 600. Thank you. Jan Etor is one of my favorites. Scrubs is an
I like Dr. Acula.
Oh, so good.
I leveled up too!
Scrubs is one of my favorite
Ooh,
shows of all
clerics.
time.
I've
When
leveled
do,
up.
when do I
Nice. So you
level?
guys
When do I level? When do I level?
10,000.
Fuck off.
Look at this guy
Yeah.
needing 10k XP level. Oh!
Cringe.
All right.
I'm
You guys
getting
level-
a-
Are you level 4 now, Jamie?
I'm getting hit dice. I'm getting Thaco
Sick.
upgrades. I'm on the AD&D 2E wiki. I'm getting spell slot upgrades.
Thank you,
Let's
McTacky.
see some HP rolls then.
Fucking. Now you know
Neil,
what?
you ready for HP?
Yeah, I just need to hold on. If we're doing HP, let me put the vibe music back on. All right,
Yeah.
where is it going here? Okay. We're going to level you up one at a time. MrMouton, you called level up first, so why don't you do it? You are rolling a 1d8 plus 0 for new hit points.
Don't fuck it up, Moot. Come on.
4. That's
Four.
pretty good.
What does that take you to, Moot?
17.
Okay.
Excellent.
This is going to be the fattest HP roll I've ever rolled.
Wait,
okay?
hold on. Not
I'm
yet.
going to-
Not yet.
You've now got half of my HP, Moot.
I know, that's crazy.
Doesn't it feel good, Nick? Doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it actually feels great.
I knew giving you
I can
high
feel
con
the 8.
would feel really good for you. It might not fit with your
can't-
idea of your character, but like giving you the high con stat. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll come round narratively as well at some point, but it feels pretty good to be like, you can't kill me.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good because it's like, oh, Neil's targeting me in combat. Good.
Good, finally.
I'm soaking it up, you know? I'm making use.
MrMouton, you gain a +1 to hit,
Okay.
and you're going to get new spells, baby. Everyone's favorite part of the game, new spells.
It's huge.
Let me take a look at the Martha Cleric spells that we have in chat for you. I'm going to tell you what they are.
We can update them later, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to read them to you. I think it's Wow, it's 5 spells, buddy.
Nice.
I'm ready.
The first spell is a Blessing of Refuge. Regular casting time, somatic material, verbal components. For 10 minutes, the subject of this blessing, or if the subject of this blessing is fleeing, they gain a +1 to AC and do not suffer AC penalties for back attacks, flanking attacks, or flanking attacks for as long as they are fleeing. Subjects of this spell lose its bonuses if they take any other action than escaping, including but not limited to spellcasting, attacking, slowing down to wait for others, or anything like that. The cleric needs to have line of sight to the creature being blessed and direct the protection by pointing at them. However, once cast, the cleric no longer needs to see them or point at them. So if you need someone to escape a combat situation, this blessing is highly valuable.
That's good. Yeah.
Your next blessing is Create Water. It's a channel spell, however. So the cleric blesses a vessel that will spill endless clean water as long as the cleric channels and touches the vessel. The vessel must first be filled with clean water to start, and then it flows up to a rate of 0.5 gallon per minute, vessel size permitting. So
That's cool.
you can create
That's really
essentially endless water as long as you start with a little bit of fresh water.
Outclasses mine. Okay.
Well,
But you can do it without any water present, right?
yeah, you
Yeah,
can
that's true,
create
that's
water
true.
from nothing, and you create a much
So he can
higher
create water, and then
volume,
I can
make
much
more.
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because you can create
So-
like cubic feet in an instant, and he can like
Yeah.
pour, slowly.
Who would fill a swimming pool first? That's the question.
You would fill up a swimming pool first because you could just sit there all night long doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your next spell.
We can combine these, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your next spell is a chant. It is called Spare the Dying. A single target that you can see stops all bleeding for as long as this chant continues. At 7th level,
I have this one in Dice Log.
At 7th level, you can target 2 creatures. At 11th level, you can target 3 creatures.
That's cool.
And because it's a chant, you can do it while you are still taking combat actions.
But if someone attacked someone who I was chanting at, they would still take damage.
they'll still take damage, but they just won't bleed out while you are chanting for them. Your your 4th ability is another chant called Spirit Guide. The cleric creates a minor spirit that sheds soft yellow light in a 15-foot radius. It can move up to 3 times the caster's aura to a place the caster can point and see. The sprite is very small and vulnerable. It has 18 AC and is destroyed by any damage or rough contact. If damaged, the spirit cannot be summoned again for 1 week. The spirit cannot communicate information, carry objects, move objects, nor dismiss its light without dismissing itself. It is stopped by a sheer curtain or a strong breeze. The spirit can be housed inside a lantern to protect it from wind if so desired. Lantern is not included in the casting of the spell.
So I can make a spirit and it's just going to stick around.
It'll stick around for as long as you chant, which could be forever. And it'll move up to 3 times your aura and radius. So if you want to put a light up on a wall to read some ancient text that your torch won't show to, you can place the light wherever you need. And if you dismiss it, you can cast it again because it's a chant whenever you want. But if it's destroyed, you need a week of downtime before it's available again. Yeah.
Okay.
And our last spell for you is a consecration called Consecrate Ground. And this is actually going to be one that Jamie is getting as well. This spell, it's available to all clerics. As the cleric blesses an area with their symbol, an ointment, and their divine words, it takes on holy properties. Each casting of Consecrated Ground covers a 10 by 10 area, but the effects will not take place until the whole quote-unquote room has been consecrated. For example, a large room may take many castings to complete. A 30 by 30 room could take 9 days and require 9 times the amount of ointment. Each casting takes 4 hours. Once a room has been consecrated, 3 major effects take place. Any creature within the consecrated ground receives a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws. The second effect is to repel undead. Mindless undead will naturally avoid the area, as will bound undead not specifically told to enter it. Those that do enter the consecrated ground suffer 1 point of damage per round. If consecrated by a 5th level cleric, they take 2 points of damage per round. 7th and 9th level clerics increase this damage to 3 and 4 points of damage, respectively. The last major effect is to act as a burial on the ethereal plane, strictly preventing ethereally shifted creatures from traveling through the ground. Typically, when a building is consecrated, the walls will be consecrated as well, making them impassable to ethereal creatures, even if the walls are made of wood. Individual or temporary altars, shrines, prayer mats, and other devices may be consecrated for the purposes of spell requirements. There are some spells you're going to come across that say, like, you need a consecrated area. This would consecrate an area temporarily for that. So I'm not going to bother reading out the details. It'll come up later eventually.
Well, you could consecrate like a prayer mat and then bring that with you.
Right. There's going to be, well, it won't last for long enough to like you would consecrate the prayer mat, and then you would use it as a consecrated form. The requirements to cast it are holy water and incense. So you will need holy water and incense, and they can be kind of expensive if you can't make them on your own. So it's not a cheap spell, but it has like super long-lasting powers. And like all consecrated objects, it'll retain its consecration for as long as it's being, blessed and blah, 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 blah. So you could go and consecrate a temple, and if people are properly praying to the temple, the consecration will last hundreds or thousands of years. There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
And I believe that's you're level 4?
No, Jamie.
He also gets a
level 4 for Moot.
non-weapon, a weapon proficiency at 4th level? Is that it? Or did you get that at 3rd?
Looking.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Non-weapons every 3, weapon every 4 is what the wiki says.
All right, that sounds right. You should get a weapon proficiency. I'll let you figure that out on your own.
I'm taking shield.
Legend.
Oh.
Okay.
That's 2 AC. Yeah. Shit, yeah.
10% harder to hit, baby.
Something like that, yeah.
Perfect. Next up is Jamie. Are you ready to roll that 1d8?
I'm ready to roll. This is going to be
plus
Let's go.
what? Plus
It's
0?
not even a 1d8. It's just an 8.
It's a 1, Zephyr.
No.
Did I actually just roll a 1? I
You
don't
did.
believe it, dude.
What's your HP?
17.
That's what I have.
It's not too bad, yeah.
But it could have been 24.
It could have been, yeah.
I can't believe I rolled a 1.
I know, buddy.
Sucks.
You also gain a +1 to hit, which I've added to your character sheet already. You gain a weapon
Sick.
proficiency, and you gain some spells. Would you like to hear about the spells that you've gained?
Part of me doesn't want to hear them so that the other players don't know that I have them, but I do want to hear them. Tell me.
Okay.
Tell me.
Tell us.
Well, let me 1, 2, 3.
I need
4,
something to
5.
make up for that roll.
Just like Mooten, you get 5 spells. You get Consecrate Ground. You also get
Sick.
a blessing called Dust Devil. The cleric calls
that's a
forth
good one.
into being a weak air elemental anywhere within your aura. It has a bunch of stats, and it can move around. The elemental can be hit by normal weapons and is affected by normal spells. Maintaining the elemental takes concentration and gesticulation with one hand. You may walk at a normal pace, you may lift objects with your free hand, you may open doors while maintaining this consecration, but you cannot make weapon attacks or lift heavy things or struggle against heavy or stuck doors or any other action that sort of disrupts your concentration. So you channel this sucker at will whenever you want, and it'll appear. But then you got to stay focused on
Good
it.
one. I had that one in Tides of Death, and it was useful sometimes.
This is a slightly different version. The winds from this dust devil are sufficient to put out small torches, campfires, lanterns, other small flames, blah, blah, blah. Papers, leaves, straw, dust, ash, whatever debris is picked up and scattered around. Gaseous creatures or clouds can be held at bay or pushed back, although they cannot be damaged or destroyed. The dust devil appears as a small whirlwind, 1 foot in diameter at its base, 5 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet across at the top. Although, unless it actually picks up dust, sand, papers, or other materials, the air itself is hardly more visible than normal air, and it moves as directed by the cleric. If for any reason it leaves your aura, it dissipates. So this is not so much an attack. It's not going to do damage, but you do create an area of chaotic winds that within your aura that can cause all sorts of mischief, which I think a cleric of Malchus might really
it's
like.
At will and without cost, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you can find use for it.
Yeah,
So
you don't have
like,
to memorize.
If I'm not making attacks, I can just and then wind picks up, shit starts happening.
Or, like,
if I don't have my shield,
you know,
I can
there's
attack
a-
with my hand.
There's a bureaucrat over there who's like shuffling through some papers, and you cause a dust devil to spin it to the ground, and then Keir Starmer has to come and pick them up for you. You know,
True.
Like, anything can happen. All right, you ready to get to the good stuff?
I am ready.
Monster Bash. It is a chant. When this chant is in effect, any living enemy hit by the cleric must make a strength check. Those that fail are pushed back 5 feet. If there is nowhere to go, they fall prone. If backed against a cliff, they can make a saving throw versus death magic to fall prone instead. The forced movement of the spell only affects living creatures, undeads, constructs, and simple objects are unaffected. Oozes, slimes, molds, jellies, and other creatures that cannot be knocked prone may not be affected by the spell at the DM's discretion. Creatures with more than 2 legs gain a bonus to their strength check. Especially large or long creatures may only be affected in a specific location. Like if you use this on a dragon, you're not going to push the whole dragon back 5 feet, but you'll like knock its leg up or something. Yeah, at ninth level, you can choose to have this chant affect another creature. So that means like you could have it affect Muton. So anyone who Muton hits is pushed back. Ooh. Otherwise, it's you only.
That's kind of neat.
You also get Songs of March. Now, this is in line with Fertility Totem, one of those spells that you will probably never fucking use, but it's important for your class. The cleric has many marching songs at your disposal.
So many ways to do this.
You can recite these songs when walking. Anyone within your era that joins in the song gains the benefit of the chant. These songs are all simple and easy to pick up on, even by those who have never heard them before. Participation, not skill, is required to receive this blessing. Animals, mute people, and others who are unable to sing gain no benefit from this chant. Those who are participating in this chant gain an overland movement speed of 1/6 their existing speed. So for movement speed of 12, that's all of you. This is like another 4 miles a day in travel. Clerics employing this chant will often find that they, imagine you're walking down a road, everyone's sort of moving at the same pace. You and your buddies are chanting this song. You're just going to start catching up to people. So clerics who employ this chant will often find that they catch up to others on the road who then join in the chant and create like large blobs of people that move with the cleric in their party.
It's like reverse traffic. I start just carrying people, and we all arrive at the same time.
It sort of makes you a focal point for travelers because you can not just move with people, but then you sort of have a reason to keep a blob together. Similarly, it's not rare to be walking on the road and have a cleric of Malchus catch up to you and boost your movement speed for the rest of the day. In this world, in this time and setting, it's super rare for that, though. The cleric must be moving under their own power for this chant to have any effects. It doesn't work if you're riding an animal unless the animal chips in, but the animal doesn't know how to chip in, so yeah.
Okay, what if I have a horse and I put on the horse's nose a whistle so that every time the horse breathes out, it perfectly makes the song?
The horse is not participating intentionally. This is an intentional participation.
What if you were riding a dragon and the dragon was singing?
Oh, yeah, totally. That sounds great.
Hey.
Or if you
That's awesome.
polymorph
I'm gonna use the
someone
marching
else
song
into a
Full
horse.
Metal Jacket.
They wouldn't be able to talk.
No. Your last spell is
Birds.
Tripline Ward. Birds, interesting. Like songbirds?
They could sing it.
That's a fun one. Tripline Ward. A cleric enchants a normal object, a length of vine, a stick, a pole, a rope, a similar object, by tying little loops of string around it every 5 feet. Once enchanted, the object will rise slightly off the ground or floor it's resting on to trip pretty much any creature crossing it if they fail a saving throw versus spell. A creature who passes their saving throw breaks the spell, destroying the wards, the strings, and rendering the object mundane once more. Quickly moving creatures, like those who are running, are stunned for the rest of their round and can take no further actions if they are tripped by this. Very large or strong creatures, like an elephant, activate it and then automatically pass their saves because an elephant's not getting tripped by a stick.
How long can the string be?
As long as you want, but it increases the casting time. It's 5 minutes to cast it, plus 1 minute for every additional 5 feet in length.
Dude, this is so good combined with taunt.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Can I, like, so let's say does that mean, okay,
What?
you said it's 5 minutes plus 1 minute per foot?
Per 5 feet of length.
Per 5 feet. Okay. So, like, let's say, okay, I'm going to draw you something on the map.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say I'm standing here. I'm over on the, oh God, that's the wrong color. I'm going to give you a nice blue in the desert. Okay. I'm standing here. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the squares around me. Could I, in theory, like, create a spiraling thing around me? But then it would only be one pass to check and it would break, wouldn't it?
Right.
Because I was going to say I could create like an infinite spiral around Nick. He casts taunt and people just continuously fall if they try to get to him.
It's so good.
That's true.
Yeah.
If someone fails their saving throw, though, the spell continues in effect.
How long
Yeah.
does it last? Like, it's not permanent. It doesn't stay there till someone trips over it.
I don't have a duration on this.
Oh, it's permanent. No, I'm ruling it. It's permanent. Thanks, guys, for watching. Bye.
Wait a minute. Let me just...
It's permanent.
Hold on. Hold on there, Malchus Cleric. Where is trip line? That's over...
If you get left alone anywhere for 5 minutes, you could play so many good pranks.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it right in front of like someone's stove.
Yeah. Oh my god. Or just like if you fall out with someone, just do it in front of their front door.
Oh, just getting up early every day before work on your way to the temple, just fucking...
Yeah.
A cleric may lay a rope around their camp and ward it with the spell. Anyone attempting to enter or exit the camp will trigger the ward. So yeah, it lasts forever until activated.
Good.
Yes,
Good.
Sweet.
100%.
Okay.
Here's-
Good session. Good stuff.
You could do some serious evil with this. Like if you put this like at a ledge of a cliff and someone's like walking towards, that's okay. We should stop thinking about this. Good session.
Yeah.
Good
session,
session.
guys.
All right. We'll see you next week then.
That's it.
We'll see you next week.
Boom.
Bye.
Physics got this.
Okay. Bye.
Got it.
Bye.
Love you.